What it do? What it do? Welcome to We in the World TV. It's your host with the most to say, Ralph the Mouth. You already know. Today is the day before the election. We're gonna have a strong debate today between the two parties. Basically, the people who are into the two parties, they're gonna give their reasons why they voted for this side or that side. You know, we're just gonna have a small debate here. I'm the moderator, Ralph the Mouth, as you know. Welcome to We in the World TV, folks, and I see we got somebody ready to go already. So we ain't playing no games today, and let's do this, man. Let me bring in the first panelist. Let me see who we got here. Okay, we got Tim. Welcome, Tim. How you doing? Welcome to We in the World.
Ralph? Good. Everything's fine. Thanks for having me again. And
introduce yourself, please.
Tim Davis. From Patriot Nation, representing America and the Conservative Party, and bring the defense of why I think Donald Trump's the best president that we should represent us at this point in stage of the world events and stuff like that. So I'm going to argue on his behalf why he's the best person to lead us in this country.
Okay. I hear that. Let me see who else. I think we got someone else coming. I don't know. They got to get their situation right. So everybody come in, we'll all chime in. We got other coming. Let me just get some other people in real quick. So you think Trump got it this time? You think Trump got it again?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
For many reasons. It's obviously just from the eye test. If you look at it, you see the Trump parades, the bull parades, the amount of enthusiasm that's everybody's just wants to do better. I mean, we're locked down in this pandemic. People are losing jobs. They're losing this. I mean, personally, that's another topic. If it's brought up in tonight's debate about wearing masks and stuff like that, we can entertain that thought process also. But I'm looking at it I'm from New York, obviously. I'm looking at it from a New York point of view. The last time a Republican carried the New York State was Ronald Reagan in 1984. What was I, 14 years old? And that was the last Republican that carried New York State in the presidential election.
Trump is holding New York State right now?
They're saying no, but I'm going from the eye test because I live here. And like in New York State, there's block votes for certain religious communities and stuff like that. And where 90% of them usually vote for the Democratic side of the party. I'm seeing now like that block vote itself is actually supporting Trump. They're doing parades for Trump. They don't like Andrew Cuomo. They don't like the direction the country's going to. Obviously, for their religious beliefs, they feel that their religious beliefs are being trampled on, which is the First Amendment. They're not secure anymore, and I'm also looking at, I work, a lot of my coworkers live in the 5 boroughs. I'm a union construction worker. So, you talk to your coworkers and not my trade, other trades, you talk to them who were totally pro-Obama, pro-Hillary, just 4 years ago. And every night who you talk to, 90% of them were saying Trump, 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 Trump. So I believe the last election, the 5 boroughs control New York, but I believe last election, Staten Island was the only borough of the 5 that went strong for Trump. Now, as opposed to today, I'm seeing a lot of, I think Queens is going to pull it out for Trump. I think Brooklyn's going to go for Trump. And if Trump wins Brooklyn and he wins Queens along with Staten Island, that's the wrap. He will get New York State because Trump carried, there's 62 counties in New York State, and Trump carried 46 counties in the election. It's the 5 boroughs that just dictate what policies are going in New York State. So I mean, that's one of the reasons why I feel it's a hunch. I could be wrong, most likely wrong according to polls. I just have a strong feeling that Trump's going to carry New York State. You know,
hold on for a second, brother. Hold on. This guy, I'm trying to get Harvey on. Come on the panel. What are you talking about? Hold on. Let me give him a quick call. Whoever's watching, subscribe, share. Hello? Come on the panel.
How do I do that?
Okay, when you hit the StreamYard, copy and paste it and put it on your Safari on the bar, well, you know, on your search code. Put it there and then follow the instructions. It's gonna bring you right to me. Because you halfway came in. I see your name, Lo Mein.
all he has to do is hit the StreamYard. He can come on.
Huh?
Tell me that again.
Just copy the thing and put it on your barcode. I mean on your search bar, and then hit search, and then you're gonna follow it from there.
But what am I gonna copy? That link that gets me to We in the World?
That link that I sent you on inside your messenger.
Now I can get to that. When I get to that, I can hear you and Tim talking.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be on the panel.
I don't see panel as an option.
As soon as you put your name in and you hit send, it automatically takes your mic and your camera and it puts you on the panel. And then once it's on the panel, you just get put on.
Yeah, because it's right here. I see you right here. You're halfway in.
All right, let me work on it. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Yo, hold on. Let me get this call. No.
But just to reiterate on what I was trying to say, just so keep the show going a little bit and show a little interest. So I'm feeling. I have a feeling that he's going to carry New York.
What's going on?
What up? What up?
Introduce yourself, brother.
You know, Dr. Kills.
How you doing?
Got my degree from the YouTube University. How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
And who
Life.
who you going for this election? Who's your choice? I already know, but let the people know.
Trump.
No hezzy, huh? No hezzy.
Yeah, we're not playing with the hesitation.
Man. You gotta leave it with the hezzy, man.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was still on the fence. As much as I talk on Facebook, I was still on the fence for a little bit. I can't lie, but
okay. Tim, this is Mr. Kill. Go ahead, Tim. Start the show.
How you doing, Tim?
Go ahead, Tim.
Joining the panel with you.
Huh?
No, I said it's a pleasure and honor to be on the panel with him.
Likewise, Tim. I don't know why my shit's so close though.
Yeah, me too, man. Look like I'm on the screen too. I ain't gonna front. I don't know what's going on. I'm like this. That's why I keep doing the same thing. But we all good. Tim, go ahead, finish, man. So we can get this going, man. My man said he's gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens.
Well, I'll just reiterate it. I'm like why I feel he's gonna carry New York. I gave the reasons why I feel he's gonna carry New York. I mean, I believe.
What up, Rick? We got Rick in here.
Are you guys hearing echo from me out?
Good to see you
Go ahead,
again.
introduce ourselves, man. Go ahead, introduce ourselves, gentlemen. Say what up. Say what up.
How you doing? I'm Rick from New York. How's things?
Good, Rick. Good to see you
What's
again.
up, Kells? What's up, Patriot Nation? How's things? What's up, Ralph?
Patriot Nation.
How's everyone doing? That's what's up.
So go ahead, let's chop it up, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this going. Tim, finish what you was going on, man. And then we all gonna talk, man.
No, I was just giving the reason why I feel that Trump was going to carry New York State, being the first Republican president to carry New York State since Ronald Reagan, who did it back to back in '81 and '84. And I just used the enthusiasm that I see going on. I see the block votes that are going for him that never went Republican. I'm seeing the boroughs of Brooklyn and the boroughs of Queens, Staten Island, who never went Republican. They're all for. All you do is see
the polls. They saying the polls say different though, man. What do y'all have to say about that? They say the polls is Biden running the show right now. He's in the lead.
the polls. That's.
I don't think the polls have been right a few elections in a row. No.
Correct.
So in a few elections in a row, the polls haven't been right at all.
Nah, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the popular vote hasn't won the election. Quite a few, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because if you go by the eye test, both parties is doing, the supporters are doing. But if you look at the real eye test, boy, it really looks like it looks lopsided. You know what I'm saying? But then you have the polls, then you got the lopsided media that's showing the people marching, shutting the bridge down. It's hot out there. Yo.
I look at the media. I'm not going to use the catchphrase that everybody uses now, fake news. I just said it anyway, but I'm not going to go that route. The media is definitely is a biased part. I think it's like the fourth branch of government, the propaganda arm, the tools, social media. It's all propaganda. It's nothing that we never seen in our lifetime because we didn't live back in the 1930s and 40s or the 1800s. It's the same propaganda. It's just now it's more modernized. You got Twitter. You got
they got better with it because ever since the TV was out, that's what it was
and they control the whole narrative off of that. So it's the people who it's not the critical thinkers. It's the people who really don't investigate or they don't research or they want to be told what to do. They're the
face
ones
value to them is a headline.
If you know the history of the country too, before TV, it was kind of like it was newspapers and pamphlets. You know what I'm saying? That was one form of propaganda before. You know what I'm saying? They would throw it on pamphlets and hand them out, and that's how they get the people to have a certain thing. The TV is just advancement, man. It's always just some of the stuff is just nothing new under the sun, to be honest. It's just advancement now, just technology to something that they've been doing. And now they're better at it. You ride a bike, you know how to ride it one day. Now you can do a wheelie. Now you can ride, you know what I'm saying? You can put your legs in it. After a while, you get real good at it, and that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And then age creeps in on it and you can't do it no more.
I mean, I get a lot of people on like, it's like, what was I saying before? Like, it's almost like the face value is a headline for them. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, that's it.
That's good enough. I can't tell you throughout this entire process, I actually open the articles people share with these, wow, look at your president, this and that, and I actually open them and start to read them and realize these people don't even realize what they're sharing. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's all double. Like for example, you'll see people complain about Trump's rallies, but won't complain about the protesters altogether. Like it's like which one let's make up your mind here. You know what I mean? Are we complaining about a bunch of people together, or are we complaining about the support? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's weird.
I literally watched someone on Facebook complaining about the social distancing at the rallies, and then saw them later on that evening at a party with a bunch of people all happy and shit. I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
I think that's
what it is, right?
I see the same thing. I thought that's why I brought it up. I see the same thing. I'm like, hold up, which one is it?
Yeah, like wait a minute. Are they wrong or not? I mean, at the end of the day, if I had to call it, it seemed for me like I don't have fears. There's nothing really I fear. I don't
Yeah, that's weird to me. You complain about you complain about the social distancing at the Trump rally, but then you'll be at the club.
Yeah, it's almost like Trump supporters ain't scared to die. Everybody else is like, yo, they be like, yo, bro, chill, bro. I'm scared to die. Like, I get it.
Did you see the new one when they handing out the food and the money on the tray, so you don't touch it, and you gotta stick your hand in there, and they touch it to avoid the thing.
That's a dumb thing.
I call that honestly. It's deception. It's the last paragraph. Number one, it's to make Trump look bad. This whole thing's the virus is real. Trust me, we all know it's real.
Yeah,
of course.
That's real. Somebody used the word hoax, not the virus. The attention that it's getting. We all know it's real. Just like the common cold, we know the common cold's real. We're gonna get it. One of us four are gonna get it this winter. We're gonna have a common cold.
I get it every year at this time.
Okay. See, so what I call it, it's more like controlling the people now, what I call it is medical tyranny, because tyranny comes in a lot of different forms. It's taking people's rights away, and the way you could conquer and take people's rights away is out of fear. People fear things.
They're taking people's common sense away now. To be honest, they're taking more than it's more than a thing. They're kind of taking people common sense away. Because think about this right here, people you'll have to walk into a restaurant wearing a mask, right? But you sit down and eat and take it off.
Correct. It's stupid, silliness. It's buffoonery.
I can't lie. The other day, what Biden do? That was funny to me. So he was like, he took his mask down and coughed in his hand. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, bro. Ain't you supposed to be teaching the people a little something different? Damn. That was weird as hell. He literally took it down and was like, and put it back up. I'm like, the fuck?
So
I understand we got to be careful, wash your hands. You know, I get all that, man. I really do. You know, the fear factor, the way they have it out, I get it. But the common sense of it now, the common sense of the way we fighting it is weird.
I feel like this, right? I went to the soup when it was first really big, and you know, when they finally opened the supermarkets up, and it was real restricted, and I'm in there, and I'm like,
Silverback, come on, Silverback, come on the panel.
This is how I normally am in the supermarket.
The right panel for you, Silverback.
You know, I was the little kid who used to run over people's ankles by accident, so I learned my lesson to stay far back. So like I'm in the supermarket sitting back, and I'm like looking, I'm like, this is how I normally am in the supermarket. Like I'm confused. Is this just making it seem like we weren't doing this? Because like, yeah, we were slightly closer, but people generally give you enough space.
I'm gonna read off a comment for y'all.
And we also.
I got a comment to read for y'all. I got a comment to read for y'all.
Go ahead.
This is to the panel. It goes, Trump tactics remind me too much of Hitler. If you look at history, it mimics it almost exactly. That's from Silverback Racing TV. What do y'all got to say about that?
I got some.
Why don't you come on the panel? Silverback. Who got a feedback? Who want to go first on that?
I got something for that. If you actually look at history, Hitler was a fascist, and that aligns a lot with the democratic methodology. He had a big welfare state, right? And then he blamed all the issues on the Jews and the rest of the world. And because this nation was dependent on him, that fear was manifest across the whole populace. That's how he was able to convert his whole peaceful nation to war out of fear. And when you have what they're trying to do now with the media and with blacks today is based that on fear. Like, oh, look, these are your rights. We're trying to give you all these, not rights, I'm sorry, benefits. Here's all your benefits, but the right's going to take it away. They're going to take away all your benefits. So we got to stop them. And then you add Corona on top of it. And then you put the regular working guy out of work. So you have an already good number of the population on the system, right? And then you take away the working man, you put him, quote unquote, on the system, and then you build on that fear. And then you have a volatile weapon to point at an issue, and that is what Hitler did. Trump is the exact opposite. He is more big state, not big government.
Can I piggyback off? Can I piggyback off?
Yeah, after you go, Rick, and I want to finish it. I put a little icing on it after y'all done. Go ahead.
When Rick was 100% correct on what he was saying, but Hitler also, his other main enemy was capitalism. Mm-hmm. America is capitalist and capitalism. So if you make capitalist your enemy, you're dividing the haves and the have-nots, the poors and the elites. It's all propaganda. But the question I have I guess the gentleman's name was Silverback that asked that question.
Okay. I'm trying to get him on right now. I'm trying to get him right now.
What I'm trying to get at, a question like that is kind of trickery, because you can't come on and ask a question, a broad, paint that question with the broad stroke of a paintbrush. You got to give examples. You can't say, well, he's reminded us of Trump. Well, what policies does he believe that Trump's doing that's relevant or equal to what Hitler was doing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You just can't come on this panel and say,
it's
Trump's like Hitler. Well, give me an example.
Well, here's another thing too. Trump is the first president who didn't start a war in his first term or expand a war in his first term. Trump is actually drawing back our troops, signing peace deals, stopping wars. This the exact opposite.
Let Mr. Kill.
Look, bottom line is this, right? So this whole entire past 2 years, I have been filling myself up with news outlets galore. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, why everybody says what they say and how they just have these open-ended statements about Trump online, and it's just like, that's it, bro. Like, and more as I watch it, I realize that, and this is 100% fact. Whoever's listening, this is 100% fact. The other news outlets are literally feeding you lies every day in and day out. They're not giving you any updates on the coronavirus. They're not giving you any updates on positive things that are happening to our economy in the future, regardless of which president takes place, in a sense, because there are a lot of things that maybe Trump is taking credit for that Obama put into place, and as well as he's still taking credit for things that even Bush put into place, because they finally reached that 10-year maturity date where they actually start to take effect. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
the other news outlets don't tell you anything. In a quick example, the WHO. If anybody's listening, I'm not sure if you know that the WHO actually retracted on this statement, saying that we shouldn't have these lockdowns. Right? You got the president quoting the WHO and telling everybody it's live, and then CNN bashes the president for saying such a false lie, and then they come up with these fact checkers that fact checked him on the truth on that, which in reality, when you go to the WHO's website, this is right on their website, this disclaimer saying they never intended for the lockdowns to be this extreme. When it comes to the deaths, CDC has adjusted their rates on the deaths and also said that in the next few months, they'll be providing a much more accurate scale on whether people died from complications of coronavirus or died from other causes and had COVID as well. They're going to break it down so we can actually say, all right, these are the actual people who unfortunately died from COVID all the way. And those numbers are extremely low, and you can see those results happening there. Once again, you may only hear this on one news station. Unfortunately, it's the same news station that all the other news stations are telling the rest of the world and the rest of the American people not to watch because they're biased and they only care about Trump, which I haven't seen that in this station. I literally see people in the station
bash Trump. I got to say about that
long, more than I see them sticking up for him.
Ralph, can I just have 20 seconds to piggyback?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to exactly what he's saying, but I want to go back to the Hitler comparison again. Now, the second thing that Hitler did, he took everybody's guns away. You make genocide and you take everybody's guns away. Trump is pro Second Amendment. He's telling you, I am not taking your guns away. Biden wants to take your guns away. Kamala Harris, they blatantly say it every day. That's been their goal for the last 50 years. So if he's comparing him to Hitler,
he's coming on. We're back and coming on soon, so you're going to get a chance. You guys going to get your stuff in.
Don't forget to bring the books.
Here's another thing that I got to say. Let me just say this real quick. All right, listen. We got to go by the reality of what somebody just said. Right? He said Hitler killed a lot of people, put them in concentration camp. For you to say he's doing the same tactics as Hitler means that he's setting us up. He's setting the people up to put us in concentration camp. That's who you're comparing him. You're comparing to a mass murderer. So you're saying Trump is about to do that to us? Is that what this person is saying? Think about it.
That's what they're attempting to say. Yes.
That's what you're attempting to say. Like, forget about all the other stuff. You use the word Hitler.
Yo, Hitler's a touchy subject. They've been doing that very touchy subject. I mean, shit.
That's crazy. You use the word Hitler. So you're saying he's going to take our guns away. Hitler took the guns away. He changed the media. Like he put a propaganda out in the media. Took the guns away. Went door to door. Started taking everybody out their homes. Whoever he didn't like, as far as the rape, put in a concentration camp and killed them.
Yeah, it's no comparison. There really hasn't been another
comparison.
Luckily, the world has not seen another comparison yet. Yeah,
one more quick thing.
That's a terrible comparison.
One more quick thing. What Dr. Kills was saying, he was talking about the CDC and the WHO and everything coming out changing their numbers.
Yes,
now,
sir.
If we're going to blame Trump for the 220,000 deaths in America, okay, let's play the same game then. Can't we give Trump credit for the 5 million people that recovered from it? 200,000 people died, but 5 million people recovered from it. What
was the recovery rate? There's a recovery rate too. What is it at now?
99.983.
Does he get credit for that too?
Yeah.
Here's the caveat to that.
You could get struck by lightning, possibly 2-to-1 odds. That's it. That's all it is. If you compare Corona to lightning.
Go ahead, Rick.
The caveat to that is when this whole thing kicked off, WHO, which everyone first the left side media quotes, then they bashed them when they don't get the information they like out of them. But WHO said that the United States would suffer as much as I think it was 2.2
2.2 million.
5 million deaths due to COVID.
Yeah.
And we're at about 10% of that right now. Nobody says nothing because it doesn't. They never say that because it doesn't support their narrative. Also, if you look at the comorbidity, everyone who was, I don't want to say everyone, the average person who has died from COVID had 2.6 comorbidity. When you look at just COVID deaths, that's the only thing they died of was COVID. Out of 220 something thousand people, only 6% was only COVID.
Wow.
6%.
Wow.
When you do the math on that, you're looking at around
17,000.
like that.
The numbers definitely change when you hear that. Here go another comment. You guys want to Here go another comment. It says fake media tactics. Every sector, as far as media, film, and music, are carefully controlled by the same families Trump is fighting against.
Ooh,
That is true.
shit. I don't know how to fill that up with more information.
Harlem Star said that. Harlem Star.
You got a low man in the private chat saying, "Can you hear me?"
Low man, you not coming in correctly. I don't know why you're not coming in correctly, man. It keeps saying your mic is not on. You need your mic has to be on too for you to come on. So you have to be on like that. Here go another comment.
Very random. Very random thing.
It says Reagan has done the same thing with implanting drugs into our inner city in the 80s.
Okay. Yes. Okay. What are we saying though?
Well, I don't. Yeah. What's that in comparison? Is that saying Trump did something similar, or?
I mean, the war on drugs wasn't real. All right. So we some of us have done the research. You can watch plenty of CIA movies to see that the government had to find a way to freaking make more money. Before America would have went broke, we would have went broke if cocaine didn't show up. Bottom line, and that's what drugs
affected anybody in the 80s. Who
funded a lot of stuff. They funded a lot of things. You know what I mean? And
who didn't drugs affect in the 80s though? Let's keep it a stack. Like, all right, bet. Let's say, you know what I mean? Let's say the government, whatever, what they want to say, they dropped it into the black communities. How'd these white folks get on drugs?
Well,
no, it was. Go ahead, please.
Well, you got to go. We're talking in the 80s. You got to go a little bit further back. You go into the decade of the 70s. When the war on drugs was first introduced to society, it was actually a Republican president, Richard Nixon. It wasn't Ronald Reagan. It was Richard Nixon, and it was a Democrat.
Vietnam.
Right.
Hold up, man. Silver, how do I get? Hold on, man. He wants this link. How the fuck do I get him the link?
So it was Richard Nixon started the war on drugs, and that's when they started coming down after the mobsters, whether it was the black gangsters like Bumpy Johnson and them guys, or Costello from the Italians. And they created two laws. The Rockefeller laws were for minorities, and the RICO laws were for white people. And it's the same laws, but that's where it was more of a divide and conquer, because the RICO laws was for loan. I want to word it the proper way without sounding like. Basically, those two laws were to divide minorities and white people. And the white people coming home from Vietnam, black people, they were all on heroin, or not all of them. Let me rephrase that. Heroin was the big thing in Vietnam. The whole thing in Vietnam was the poppy. It was the whole poppy. That's the heroin drug. Okay, so then once Vietnam ended, soldiers were coming home. Then in the 70s, they opened up all the insane asylums, all this and that, and they took all these people out of these mental wards and put them on the streets. And that's what we were seeing in the 70s going into the 80s. They closed down all the mental institutions, all the sane asylums. They weren't helping anything out, and they were just pitting everybody against each other. And then they realized, well, the RICO laws, we're going to get the white people on the cocaine and the heroin. The Rockefeller laws, we're going to get the minorities on the crack cocaine and the heroin. Now we move up into the 90s. Now we're going into the 2000s. They've combined those two laws for everybody. It's no longer an issue of communities. We're everything. Now we're in the 2010s and 2020s, and what's the biggest problem affecting our youth today? Opiates. Opiates. Is heroin in a pill form. And what are we doing in Afghanistan?
Hey, there you go.
We're protecting the poppy fields. We're not there fighting.
Yeah. I can
Taliban.
give you a stat on that backs up exactly what he's saying too, because before we went into Afghanistan, the Taliban were actually burning down the opium fields. They were trying to rid the world of a heroin drug. They weren't exactly who the people said they were, but they were accurate when they said they were burning down places and stuff like that. But in reality, that's what they were doing. They were fighting the opium crisis in the world. We went there; they had already burnt it down to 34% actual production. We went there with all the soldiers. My boy personally was over there, and he's like, "Bro, I literally guarded dope my entire time." He went over there for 3 years in Afghanistan and guarded dope straight up, and literally watched it be packaged up and all shipped to America to our pharmaceutical companies. Like literally went on big planes with the pharmaceutical company's name on it and everything, and flew out of those countries into our country and gave everyone a new addiction. Crack was getting old, played out. They needed something else where they can grab everyone.
Everybody. Absolutely.
Everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey,
So, my bad. The actual stat was when the soldiers got there within 3 months, that went up to 284% production. 3 months, they turned down years worth of work of a particular group of people tearing it down. 5 to 6 years, they were actively tearing down these opium fields in Afghanistan. And within 3 months, our United States Army and Marine Corps and whoever else was over there made sure it got up to 284%. Woo. And then bang, that's when them pills started getting stronger. Those Percocets, those Oxycontins. People talk about Oxycontin like it's old, and I beg to differ. It was made of an entirely different substance prior to the Afghanistan conflict. Yeah,
correct. And nobody in the media, nobody in our academia, nobody wants to discuss that. They don't want to talk about it.
I never found this information out until my boy said, "Hey, I was over there guarding dope, bro." Straight up. He's well decorated as well. So
a lot of veterans have been saying that. Like recently, they've been saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they can't say things while they're active duty, because when you're doing that now, when you're, it's like being a police officer. Obviously, they're following orders and stuff like that. They can't say too much, but once they're retired and no longer in there, they will.
Yeah, you see them. You see some of them guys popping up now. Yeah, you're right.
A lot of them are popping up. The Oath Keepers. Some of them are still active. They see the tyranny. They see what's going on. They see the division, and basically, they're seeing it. I mean, I was just hoping some of these, not to get off the subject, I was just hoping some of these liberals who don't agree with us would come on here, because they've been challenging Ricky, myself. I'm not sure if they challenge you all the time, Dr. Kills, but I know Arms.
Sure.
They're always on there just trying to beat us down and with buffoonery. And once we start hitting them with logic and reasoning and common sense, then the name calling.
I mean, look, it'd be hard to convince me even now that some way or another, like, they're all tied together still and just playing the perfect role. They either turned this shit into the absolute TV show once Trump got there and they're fooling us all, or I could be wrong. I'm still like right there. You know what I mean? I'm voting for what I think helps us the best. Did we just lose?
Well, I'll put it this way. I thought that I'm going to be honest with everybody. In 2016, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I'm a constitutional conservative. Okay, what I mean by a constitutional conservative, I believe in God, family, and country in that order. Okay. I try to live my life by that order. I'm not perfect, so obviously everybody slips up. I'm a human being. I slip up, but that's the way I was raised. That's the way I was brought up. God, family, and country. That order. Now, the Republican Party, Democrat Party, there's really not much difference between it. It's the ideologies, as Ricky and I discussed on the last show we were on. It's the ideologies behind it, conservatism or liberalism or whatever. I mean, they have so many names in the last 100 years: progressivism, Marxism, whatever it is. It's the ideologies behind it. And the ideologies behind it, which represents the Democratic Party, is just pure evil. Now, yes, sure, the parties are they're mirror images. Now, in the platform which separates Republicans from Democrats is the gay marriage and the abortion issue. That's what the Republicans and Democrats are always fighting about. So that's why they always keep that on the forefront. But it's bigger than that. Okay, that's the only thing that separates the two parties. It's the ideologies behind it, because without the conservative backing, the conservative people, a Republican cannot win any national election. And the same thing with a Democrat. The radicals now. You got the AOCs. These people are radical Marxists.
What up?
And they're young and they're bringing.
What's going on, bro?
To follow them.
Yo, get Pete. Everybody
Pete
give
Rock.
Pete a shout out. Everybody give Pete Rock a shout out, man.
Salute to the legend. What up?
Salute.
Peace. What
What's
up, bro?
going on?
All right, no doubt.
Yo, Pete, what's going on though, baby?
I'm chilling. I'm here. I see you out. I see you, Z. I see you out there.
Yeah. You already know, baby. We in the world.
Yes, sir. When you coming back this way?
I'm trying to come out there probably for December for my born. I don't know yet. I don't know 100 yet. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking about it, baby.
All right. It's all good.
It's all good.
You going for Pete Rock?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell us what you think? Why don't you fill in yourself? Introduce yourself so we know who you are.
Oh, that's a legend.
Yeah.
So what you guys building on? Because
we go on the topic of who we think is going to win. Why you picking the side that you picking, and what policies you like? What you like about the president that you like, basically.
Yo, listen, man. I don't really like nobody, but your only person I heard talking about decriminalize marijuana was the Harris girl, because that's a big step for the younger generation. They get pulled over, they smell marijuana in the car. Next thing you know, they get violated by police. We gotta start from something small, even though something's very small.
That's the smallest.
Yeah.
Do you believe her though? Or you think that's just
We said Kamala Harris. She's
Kamala Harris? Yeah.
No, I just said just one thing she told.
She's the only one that has mentioned it. She's the only one that ever
person
mentioned it.
She's the only
She
one.
prosecuted the most marijuana.
Yeah, bruh.
You got
Yeah.
We know that, but
We know we don't
We know
got a
that.
choice. We don't got a choice, man. We don't got no choice, man. Black people don't have a choice. Period.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean they don't have a choice?
Is we don't have a choice to pick from two good between Biden and Trump. They're no good. Both of them are no good.
Why in your opinion is Trump no good?
Because they want us, right, to they need the black vote.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They need the black vote, and that's their only concern.
Hold on. Who needs the black vote more? The Democrats or the Republicans?
The
Democrats.
Democrats, I believe.
both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
No,
but
no,
Democratic more.
the black
Yeah,
vote is
Democratic
very
more.
actually the black vote is very important. But he's sitting there saying that Donald Trump needs it. Donald Trump only had 6% of the black vote in 2016, so he didn't need the vote.
Well, you know what? He probably's not getting as many black votes this time.
Donald Trump's going to carry 30% of the black population this year.
That's what the polls are showing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is going to carry 25 to 30% of the black
Can I
population.
say something?
That's what the polls show.
Can I throw something out there real quick, y'all?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, hit it.
about all my research, right? And I started off saying before, like these past 3 years have been hectic for me because I've been just trying to research on starting at the beginning of why the fuck they hate this guy so much. You know what I mean? Like anybody that's well hated has to have another side to the story, right? So Lincoln, the businessman, whether people believe he's terrible or not, I compare Trump to like the guy in the hood that went to jail, came home and got it all back on his feet now, chilling, aka me, right? The comeback story, right? So you can tell me all about how bad business he does, but he's still a billionaire now, right? He didn't lose everything, right? And that fact, America is the United States of America Corporation. It's left off the edge of that, the main three words a lot, you know what I mean? But it's actual corporation. It's actually a real business. And it's been run by people that aren't business minded, who have way more failed businesses than Donald Trump. And they don't have comeback stories, actually. You know what I mean? America is kind of that business that fell. Like imagine this, right? All the dudes selling all the best product, you know what I'm saying, just happen to be on that particular side of town. And you got to go to that side of town to get it because it don't exist elsewhere, right? In a particular sense. So that's like China in a sense. And these other countries where big businesses felt that the taxes being put on by the Democratic Party to their business made them leave and go elsewhere where they didn't have to worry about the taxes, where they could outsource labor and stuff like that and continuously do that, right? Within this particular years, like small business owners were able to win. You know what I mean? Some of us were able to win big, you know what I mean? And be able to take advantage of the tax benefits and deductions and stuff that were there actually written by Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he had an intent to make sure that business owners could take advantage of the people, you know what I mean? It's a business at the end of the day, and I think the more business.
Repeat that. Yo, Pete, Pete, arms. Oh, there you go. Yo, Pete, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, Zim. Let me just say one thing.
Go ahead, brother.
You know, all right, go ahead. You asked because I just forgot.
Under Trump's presidency, how did things go for you, like economy wise, business wise, and so on and so on? How did things go for you?
I mean, for me, I have my own business.
Of course, but I'm just saying, how did it go? It had to, it doesn't affect you at all.
Not at all, but it slowed it down a bit. That's all.
Okay. Was it the pandemic that slowed you down, or
I think the pandemic slowed us down because they started, doing the lockdown.
Okay.
The pandemic slowed the whole world down. It wasn't just you personally.
There was no nothing. It was like
it wasn't you personally. It slowed down the whole world. The whole world got slowed down, not you personally.
We're just mastering ourselves in the crib, man.
Word. I mean, pandemic-wise, yes. Pre-pandemic, look, I'm gonna throw something out there, right? So with Obama, right? I was knocked off $3,000 for 2 different tax returns because of not having health insurance for 1 month and the other year not having it for 3 years. I lost $3,000. You know what I mean? That penalty immediately changed once Trump became president, $250.
Okay.
So I saw an immediate increase on my very next tax return with less penalties for something that at the end of the day, yes, it's my health, but I shouldn't have to mandatory get health insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
can I ask you the same question? How did it go for you? And you too, Tim. Everybody, how did it go for you during the I know. Like, how did everything go for you, economy wise?
It cut the bottom line. Realistically, even during the Bill Clinton era, the term was it's the economy's stupid, right? That's what they used to say back in the 90s. The economy's stupid. That's what they say to us. The bottom line is this. It's probably kind of not nice to say, but it comes down to this. It's about the dollar. If you make $60,000 a year or more, and you vote Democrat, $60,000. Then they Democrat you for you because you're really not paying taxes anyway. If you're doing a legitimate business or if you're a legitimate worker, I'm a union worker, okay? Because the more you make, the more they take. I don't know about anybody else on the panel. I can speak for myself. One man, one opinion. And I can tell you right now, between income tax and the money I spend to go to work, people don't even make in a year, and I can't afford. And I'm tax broke. So if you make $60,000 to the, what do they say, $60,000 to $100,000 a year, you got to be a complete idiot. No offense, anybody that's out there that voted for Biden, you got to be an idiot to vote for a Democrat. Based on economics.
Yeah.
Economics.
You know what's funny? Because there was one thing that I liked with him exposing people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like that. That's the only thing I liked he did.
What about when he contributed when he signed that executive order, putting $100 million into black schools and black programs?
Real though?
Yeah, that's real.
That's real.
He signed that when he got about a month after he got into office.
The HBCUs, they used to have to go for 8 years straight. They had to go sit with Obama every single year. Trump was like, "Word." He's like, "I'm gonna just give you a 10-year deal."
Right off the top, he's talking about $500 million in his next term.
And it can't be pulled by the next party. You know what I mean? Like,
Why didn't
you can go further back?
the black president do that?
Hold on. Okay,
he denounces racism and the Proud Boys and all that other shit. That's what's bothering everybody.
Look,
what's the
Proud Boys? Proud Boys is.
Hold on, we got to talk one at a time so we can all talk. Talk one at a time. I want to hear everybody.
Gotcha.
But who want to go?
The Proud Boys is a lot of guys that look just like me, bro. Mixed like a motherfucker, bro.
The Proud Boys are mixed. That's a fact.
They said all that, I was like, all right,
all white club. It's not an all white club. That's a fact.
In all reality, if you actually look at the labeled white supremacists, like more modernized, that people have been throwing at the media saying they're white supremacists, if you actually go look at a couple of interviews, you might be swayed to think they're just regular people. You know what I mean? And somebody just decided to say, he's a white supremacist. Yes, he is. I can tell. He did it the other day. And that's it, bro. That's who you are for the rest of life.
Can I say something about that Proud Boys thing? To me, my opinion on that, I think Trump was an idiot for repeating Biden if you didn't know what you was talking about. Because if people want to really do the research, he really didn't know what the Proud Boys was before that situation.
Nobody did.
He had no clue what the Proud Boys was.
I didn't know.
He had no clue what it was. He was a fool. I think Trump was a fool for just repeating the moderator and Joe Biden. They backed him into a corner. He just said it. He really didn't know what it was. And he put them boys on the map. By saying their name on that and doing that, he put them on the map. They wasn't even on the map.
Well, Trump didn't say their name. Trump asked who they were speaking about.
Yes, and then Biden told him the name and he repeated it. He shouldn't have repeated something he don't know. If somebody,
So did the moderator.
And that's that was big for me too, because
that was stupid.
It was like, why would this vice president, this ex-vice president, mention a group that he didn't even do any research on?
Yeah, he just kind
of weird. Kind of like the social media stir that was going on over the old owner Gavin McInnes, which I watched 2-hour plus interviews with Gavin McInnes, and I will sit here and tell you the man's not a white supremacist, y'all. He really isn't. You know what I mean? He was standing shot by water cannons and tear gas at Standing Rock with his Native American wife and her family. I mean, yeah, if you could say, oh well, they're just Native American, they're not black. I don't know if that really coincides. But, we locked in.
Go ahead, Arms.
T-Rock said he just posted some shit about Biden. What you just said real quick?
Go look on my page, Real Pete Rock, and I just posted something about Biden, his old shit, all his old shit that's getting him in trouble right now.
All right, I got it.
I don't know if you guys is everybody aware of the whole Bobolinsky thing? Have y'all
what the hell is that?
Bobolinsky guy?
What is that?
Ralph, don't say that, bro. I told you to look into that guy, bro.
You did tell me.
Bobolinsky just blew it up, bro. You know what I mean? From now on, just know that it's either you voting for the Trump family or the Biden cartel. You know what I'm saying? I'm a family man, so I'm gonna stick with the family.
Yo, Pete, it looks like they trying to take off that content. They got missing context, something information. See how they do it? Once you put something about Biden,
but that
everybody
is bold in your face. So it's bold in your face. So how they anything that has to do with the truth that's bold is going to be fact checked.
Exactly.
But the question I have though, when they say things are being fact, even on Facebook,
it's only fact checked one side.
You've been fact checked. Well, who are number one? Who is the fact checkers?
Bots.
Okay, that's number one. Who are they?
Gates.
And who fact checks them?
No.
They're just opinions.
Fact checkers are bots. I can build one and tell it to avoid searching YouTube for information. I can tell it to avoid searching multiple sites to find out the information.
Correct.
And that bot will come back to you and say it's not a fact. You know what I mean? There's a lot of programmers and stuff like that. So like the whole fact checker thing is very very weird because it's not humans. You know, everybody assumes it's humans doing it, but it's not humans. You know, these are just robots that are created.
Yeah, Pete, I see it.
Parameters on what to search for, just to clear that up.
The question I have is, how come they don't fact check anything negative about Trump? It's always always the negative stuff about Biden. If it's positive about Trump or negative about Biden, it's fact checked. If it's positive about Trump, then it's not fact checked at all. They just let it ride. They just let all the media ride.
But Trump, the reason why Trump doesn't own the media, his ops do. So his ops is going to control what's being said about him.
Like I said, man, my deep looking into all of this was literally like, why are they hating on this guy so much, bro?
That's
like,
what made me do it too. I had to dig in deep. I'm like, they hate on him a lot. What's going on?
That's what changed me, because I didn't start. I didn't like Trump until and me and my wife used to fight about this a lot. Until the media started trashing him a lot. And at first I was believing everything they were saying. I'm like, this guy's a real animal, you know. And then all of a sudden, I started watching him on TV and I heard what he said. And then when the media played it, I was like, that's not what he said at all. I started looking it up and I'm like, yeah, why do they say that? And then you fall down the rabbit hole. And a lot of people, especially a lot more blacks that I'm speaking to nowadays, have noticed the same thing. And the media thinks we're stupid. The media thinks that if they just tone out everybody else and push their narrative, that people are too lazy and stupid to do their own research. The sad part is, I think
that is the case, though. That is the case to a certain degree, though, Rick.
I think they're right.
Joe Biden actually, a month ago, said that. He says unlike the Latino community, black people are diverse. Basically, if you take that in layman terms, it says you guys can't, the black people, the black communities can't think for themselves. That's basically
they're all going to vote the same way.
He says, you're not diverse. He goes, with the exception of a few, the black community is not diverse like the Latino communities. That's a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's a slap. I
If
mean,
you
just
if you don't know
He
me,
said Obama was the first. I just looked on Pete's page. He said Obama was the first black articulate something black guy. Come on, man.
No. I mean, all right. So
Obama,
Obama has the gift of gab, y'all. Like he was nice as hell. Like I had to really be convinced to look at anything else negative about Obama. Like when people were saying, "Oh, bro, I don't think you understand," like the bills that he's writing in secret and all these executive orders that they're not telling people about. You know what I mean? And these are now, mind you, like people be like, all right, when Trump's like, "Oh, I'm going to send the National Guard in," and be like, "Oh, that's fucked up. He's going to send the National Guard in and shit like that." Obama wrote that that law into effect. So him not pulling it out is like, all right, I could pull my card or I can make them handle it because every time I pull this card, I'm basically using the other guy's shit that he set up. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird some of these things that he set up because it doesn't approach like he wrote it into that at these protests and riots that the cops are that the people there are allowed to use excessive force on us. That we wrote into the law for those rubber bullets, those fucking water cannons, all that shit that's fucking illegal in other countries that we're doing over here.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy wrote that to us as if they knew that we'd be out there protesting. Kind of weird, no?
Piggyback on that for a second, because I've been discussing this. Like, people always ask me, and I shouldn't do it because I don't want to give my enemies, I'm going to call them my enemies. I don't want to give my enemies any more ammo to throw towards Trump. But I'm asked this question a lot. And I thought a gentleman, Harvey, was going to come on here because he's been asking me this question. And I told him to come on the show and I'll answer your question. But apparently he's not showing up, which I expected anyway. I'm always asked a question: can you name one thing you don't like about Trump? And I never answer anybody that because I don't want to give my enemies any ammunition. Okay? I want them to parrot the media and look foolish. So I'm going to give you three things that I don't actually like that Trump does, and I'm voting for Trump.
Okay.
Three things that really bothered me about Trump was he continued to sign in every February.
Get the fuck out of here. Guy's crazy. My fault, people. I'm here. Hold on. We got a new caller we're going to bring in. We got to introduce yourself. Got somebody new on the panel. Yo, you breaking up, baby. Fix it up.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, Dr. Kills.
How the fuck do I get back there?
Dr. Kills is right here. I'm going to put him back right now. There goes Dr. Kills. He's back. My fault. We're all here, folks.
Low Man is in. I don't think you can have 5, huh?
No, I can have 6.
Oh, because Low Man just left again.
He's not. He keeps touching shit.
Is low? Let me ask you, Ralph.
Low Man is Harvey. Yes.
He's the one that's always challenging me.
Yes, that's Harvey. Here comes your challenge.
This is funny. Hold on. Wait a minute. This is Tim Davis.
Yes, this is Tim Davis.
Yes. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm just the Italian guy that pops in every now and then. You know.
Here we go. We got Mr. Low Man. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, this man thought I was ducking him.
Yeah, he thought you was ducking. I thought you was too, bro.
Let's go.
It's about to go down.
I thought you was ducking.
Let's go, little man.
I thought you was ducking.
Yo, I was doing everything. I did everything. I shut my whole phone down. I deleted everything and then downloaded Chrome and them, all of that shit just so I can make sure.
Now, don't worry, we in the world, baby. We in the world.
I'm doing everything so I can come here and confront little Donald Trump Jr., aka Timmy Trump Jr.
Okay.
Little Timmy. Timmy.
Yo,
let's talk, little Timmy.
Listen,
come on.
And listen, bro.
Let's
Tim,
talk.
go ahead, man. Set it off.
Everybody gonna be crying at that. Everybody gonna be crying at 52.
We gotta do this. We gotta do this to a point.
Come on, we gotta Mr. Big Trump supporter. Now, all right. So let's not even go at it like that. Let's just talk about why we supporting the candidates that we support. But before I get into that, what I will tell you is I'm not a big Joe. I've been saying this from the beginning. I'm not a Joe Biden supporter, but I feel like when he was in office, that they were doing a better job. They had a better first 4 years. Than Trump.
Let him finish.
Hold on. The reason why, let's look at the circumstances. Obama and Biden came into a fucked up economy. Housing was fucked up. The stock market was messed up. General Motors was filing bankruptcy. He came into a bad situation, and at the end of his first 4 years, things were getting better. Trump, first 4 years, things are getting worse.
I don't know.
Okay, hold on a second.
Minus the
Tim,
pandemic.
Who's gonna go? We got to go one at a time on that. Who's gonna go first on that? Tim, go first.
Tim got to go first.
Tim, go ahead, Tim.
Can I just say something, please? Okay, I gotta break this narrative that Obama inherited this bad
How come I
recession.
can't hear
Yes,
you,
it was a
Tim?
recession.
Tim,
You
put
gotta
up your mic
up a little bit, Tim.
Tim.
Please. I extend the courtesy. I don't speak when everybody else is speaking.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Same courtesy extended to us, okay? I'm going to break this narrative down of, okay, Bush's economy that Obama inherited. Okay, this look back. I don't know how.
Yo, you guys can hear him?
I am, and I remember when this all happened.
Yeah, I can hear him.
George Bush's first 6 years in office, every single year, everybody every August got a minimum of a $700 check every August. And they blamed it. They said, oh, he's taking Bill Clinton's surplus away. Okay, remember he had a surplus allegedly? When you have a surplus, that means you tax the people too much. The government's not supposed to have a surplus, have a balanced budget. So when you have a surplus, that means the government's taxing you too much. George Bush Jr., I'm not a fan of him, okay, believe me when I tell you that. When George Bush Jr. took office, he started returning money back every August. Every person that paid taxes from 2001 to 2006, every August got that check. That's a fact. Now, what happened in 2006? George Bush, okay, everybody was working. The economy was booming. What happened in 2006? I'll tell you what happened in 2006. The Democrats took control of both the House and the Senate. And once they took control of the House and the Senate, they stopped everything George Bush did, and they crashed the economy. Just like they did back in 1929 with Herbert Hoover, just like they did in 1972 with Richard Nixon. That's what they do.
Hold on. All right.
House,
I understand, bro. Because hold on, I understand what you. No, because I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know where he's going.
Let him finish real quick. Let him finish, and then you go. That's all. Just let him finish. Almost done.
Okay.
That is a
fact.
I give everybody about 2 to 3 minutes. Everybody get about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm gonna cut you off. That's how I do it.
So once the Democrats took control of the House and the Senate, they control the money. They control who writes bills, what bills. They struck down all his bills that was producing the economy. I was working in New York. I work in New York City. I've been working there since 1997. Okay, I made more money under George Bush than I did under Obama and under Bill Clinton. And I can't stand George W. Bush. Okay, facts is facts. People can lie, media can lie, people can have opinions, but they can't have facts. The bottom line is math does not lie. If you follow math, if you know economics, when you know economics, not Keynesian economics, none of this fuzzy math economics, real economics.
All right, okay.
Go ahead, Lomain.
All right, real quick. Regardless to how everything got all messed up, Obama and Biden came in and fixed it. Regardless to how it got messed up, they came in and fixed it. That's the fact. That's the fact.
So I became.
Go ahead, Mr. Kill.
I became a small business owner right around the beginning, right around that time. I became a small business owner, and that particular time there was no help for small business owners. You know what I mean? Neither was there for Bush. I don't really know that wasn't my.
There's no help for them now. There's no help for them now. There's no help for them now.
No, I help myself now. I help myself based on.
You have to. Listen, you have to help yourself now.
I'm doing well based on a tax plan that Biden wrote, that he wrote for small business owners to succeed. Within his new tax plan, he rewrote the entirety that he wrote for small business owners to not succeed anymore. I don't care what you may think, but that tax plan is not created for a small business owner to go. It talks about small business incentives, which technically means loans. Yes, the interest rate is low, but it's not lower than an interest rate I can go get from the bank. So whatever they're saying is still the same old process of hard work and ethic you're going to have to put in, plus the fact you won't be able to get any help tax deduction-wise. Picture the same guy writing a plan for you to eat well is taking it away from you in order to give it to others.
I want to ask you, can I just 2 minutes? That's all I need. I'm going to explain Obama's economy, why everybody thinks it's so great. Okay, so when he got into the presidency, Obama,
you hate Obama.
He passed the stimulus bill. It was George Bush's original bill, and what they did was the taxpayers, me, you, all of us that work, he was, I think, $1 trillion. It was the stimulus bill, whatever it was. He bailed out public unions. I'm a private union. He didn't bail my union out. Our markets were not crashed. It crashed. We lost tons of money. It was the public unions that he bailed out. The automobile industry, the insurance companies, everything that was controlled by the government, which is AKA fascism. Fascism is government control.
And then we got hit with.
Okay, and what happened was 30 more seconds. And what happened was the whole 8 years Obama was the president of the United States. The Federal Reserve Board, the Federal Reserve, they printed and they put into the marketplace $84 million a month. A month. Times that by 12, times that by 8 years. That's why the economy didn't go up. It was going. It was stagnant. It was doing this. It was going up, but it was an artificially inflated fiat market.
Yeah,
and that's why.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
That's. You couldn't have said it any better, bro. That's what they did. They did things to inflate the numbers to make it look well. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? People that were just starting out as a business owner and stuff like that took the brunt of everyone else.
He never.
Yeah.
And he never. And the Obama's economy never went above the GDP. Never went above 1.8%. And when he was leaving, when Trump was running, he says, "Oh, what does Trump have a magic wand? We'll never bring back jobs. We'll never bring back manufacturing. We'll never be above 2% on the GDP." You had 8 years in office. Our GDP never went over 2%. Right now, in the pandemic, we're at 3.3%.
And I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't have nothing against. Well, I'd be lying. I do have stuff against it. Like I said, it was more like opening my eyes up, like to other things that weren't spoken about Obama, like all this stuff for like New World Order. Like when people say conspiracy theories about the New World Order, it's weird that Obama was writing all these bills that align with being able to take freedoms from people. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shit in place, man. Look at what you call it. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I'm voting for Biden. That's my choice." Like why Nancy Pelosi recently just put in an order to remove a mentally ill president. You think they did that for Trump? No, they're hoping their guy wins and they can remove him from office. I don't think they're going to keep Kamala either. There's actually plenty of documentation saying that they can remove both of them and replace both of them. Like most people, like, "Oh, Kamala Harris going to be the president. Biden dropout." Not necessarily, guys. They can actually stop both of them and take them both from office.
I closely interview.
The mentally ill president leaves. His other person doesn't become the president. She could stay the vice president, and another president will take his place. So everybody's jumping off the conclusions, but in the wordage, that's what it says.
Yo, I wanna read this comment. I want y'all to talk about this comment. There's somebody here. They left a comment. They go, "I'm just one guy, but the Obama tax hike along with the ACA put me out of business." What is the ACA and what
Affordable Care Act?
Okay, he said to put him out of business.
Yeah.
For millions of people,
You paying towards an establishment that fucking does not believe in helping the people when it comes to medicine, bro. Like, so these companies had to jump on and pay these high ass medicine bills and all kind of stuff in order to just be part of the Affordable Care Act. It's crazy when you look at the actual data to it, man. Like it looks sounds cool, it sounds great. When they say, "Oh, we're gonna give everybody health care," it's cool, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I lost money because I felt healthy and I didn't need health care. Like that's not fair, bro.
He made it sound free, but it's free.
The only people that benefit from the Affordable Care Act is people that don't work.
No, the only people that no pharmaceutical companies and
I'm not talking about profits. I'm not talking about people making money.
Don't forget,
I'm not talking about who making money.
You're talking at the same time, gentlemen.
Right.
I'm not talking about who makes money behind it. I'm saying who actually benefits from having it. You know, people that don't work, they'll get that shit easy. Like there was a time when I was out of work. Well, I was working and I went out of work and couldn't get it because they were like, "You're still receiving the check." So as long as you're getting money, you're gonna pay for that shit. But there's people that don't work that get it for free.
Low man, I want to ask you a question. I seen a post today, right, that you made, and it's not. I don't really want to go on the whole post. I want to go on part of the partial of the post. You said racism was what you call it? What you said after you said it was
it had become taboo. I said it had become taboo.
You said before Trump, it was like a taboo, like it was like it didn't exist, right? That's what you basically
No. I'm not saying that it didn't exist, but it started to become a like a bad look for you if you displayed it. For an example, all right, I live out in Pennsylvania. Black people are like 10% of the population out here, right? So I live around a lot of white people. So I got to see how people's attitude changed when Trump was running and how they acted when he became president. And a lot of people really showed how they'd been feeling inside. But before that, they used to have to hide it. Like if one of your kids be like, "You're a nigga," for an example, if one of their kids been like, "You're a nigga," they'd be like, "No, stop it, don't say that," right? Because that's something that they say all the time in the house. But now they don't tell their kids, "Stop, don't say that."
Let me ask you another question. During that time, right? During Trump's presidential watch, right? You said you live in an area is mostly you're 10% black, right? And you said before Trump, you didn't have no issue. So since Trump's presidency, what people in that neighborhood called you a nigger or something? They threw KKK at your door. What happened?
Hell yeah, they've called me nigga. You crazy? Niggas just trying to find like fuck.
Since Trump's been a president, your neighbors have called you a nigger, and people in that neighborhood, in that area.
Dog, listen to this. I'll give you a real one, right? My mother-in-law was taking care of this old white woman. Real quick. Look, I'm gonna give you an example of it real quick. My mother-in-law was taking care of this old white woman. So every once in a while, her daughter and her son-in-law would come by to see him. They seemed like the sweetest motherfuckers. As soon as Trump became the candidate that was gonna represent the Republicans, the motherfucker threw a Confederate flag on his truck.
Okay, listen. That you have what that person was somebody who's always racist. And okay, Trump put a battery in the back with somebody who's always been racist. It ain't Trump that turned them racist. This person's always been racist to me.
No, I'm not saying Trump is turning them racist. I'm saying that's something that had became taboo. Like I put in my example. If I seen a nigga wearing a pair of ponies, look, if I seen a nigga wearing a pair of ponies, I'll be looking at him like, damn, where'd you get those? Like people still wear that? But that's how racism became.
You can make that you can make that same argument with every president. You can make that same argument with Barack Obama, George Bush, Ronald Reagan. You can make that same argument.
Make the argument.
It's a narrative.
So make the argument.
It's a false narrative.
The argument there. 41 of 45 presidents were associated with racism. Whether they had racist viewpoints, whether their family members were part of racist organizations, and everything. 41 of the 45. There's only a handful, and technically, Trump is only associated by his dad physically. You know what I'm saying? Like physical, you see his dad in that coat, and that's the association, the deep association you have with that. Everything else is kind of like a generalized.
Go ahead, Rick want to say something. Go ahead, Rick.
The question I have for Lowman is, when did the issue started manifesting itself with that family? Did it happen right when Trump was the candidate, or did it happen when BLM started taking off and having issues? Because I've noticed that blacks, the relationship between some of the white and the black cultures have been a little bit, there's been more tension since BLM because some people don't know where the other stands. And right now there's a lot of unknown tension between the two groups.
Well, I respect. I like what BLM could have been, but I don't like what it's become. I know that it's a business, a moving business, and I understand that. The concept of it was the right idea. Black Lives Matter. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like police don't really respect Black lives. And I might be wrong, but
let's talk about that a little bit. We could talk about that a little bit. We could talk about the police. Right. I want to talk about that.
So, I mean, like funny out here, there was this dude named Eric Freed. He went to the state trooper barracks and shot up like 2 cops, and then ran on the run in the woods out here for a month, right? And then this one dude had an argument with his girl. And they brought Eric Freed in fine. He had a bloody nose. That's it. This one dude had an argument with his girl without a weapon, and they killed him.
Let me ask you: do you live in PA? Do you live in Matamoros in PA? Is that where you live?
No, I live in Monroe County.
Can I reply to that?
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
My question is, how they bring the people in generally correlates to what they are doing at the time they're being brought in. So the guy that shot everybody, was he still shooting at them when they came in? Was he hostile, or did he come out and say, "Hey, I'm turning myself in. I'm giving myself up"? Generally, that's how it works, because the cops, generally speaking, if you come out with your hands up, they don't just start gunning you down. Now, there have been a few cases, like in Florida, where the guy shot up a couple of troopers or sheriffs, then ran into the woods, and he was calling people on the phone saying, "Hey, I think they're going to kill me because I just killed 2 troopers," and they probably shot and killed him. But generally speaking, if you're not resisting and you're not armed and you actively display it, generally speaking, they won't go and tear you a new one.
I think.
Now hold on.
Also,
that's the way it's supposed to go.
Hold on.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Hold on.
But we know that that's not what happens. Like, and I'm not. Let me not. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I don't want people to think that I'm saying the police always do this, right? But when you start getting into like a couple of hundred a year, and you're like, none of these, all of them are unarmed. That's now there's a problem.
Let me just reiterate. Let me say something.
Where you getting that number from? A couple hundred a year.
Hold on. You do realize more white people are shot and killed by cops than black.
That ain't the point. Look, y'all, cops.
No.
Most cops.
And they be armed. And they be armed. They be armed. Those white people that get killed by the police are armed.
A lot of them are armed. A lot of them are armed.
All right. So the difference is an unarmed black man is more dangerous than an armed white man. What does that say about white people?
No.
What are you getting your number?
That's very good.
Come on, Timmy. Come on, Timmy.
Hold on. You made very good points. What I'm trying to get at is this. I believe that, first of all, I'm not pro-cop and I'm not anti-cop. I'm just anti-corruption. Okay, I can go on and on and on. I can compare our law enforcement to actually Nazi Germany if I really wanted to. But I'm not going to go down that route. Okay, because they're order followers. But I respect cops. Okay, you got to respect them. They're not going to intentionally just kill you because you're black. Okay, I'm not going to say that or accept that as just killing you because you're black. But what I'm saying is you got to realize early before you came on this post, we were talking about how media plays propaganda and bias. The media knows how to. Let me finish, please.
No, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just letting you know I thought it.
The media knows how to play on emotions, and the media is going to show. So if there's two cop shootings and 2 black men were involved, they're going to put that on the media, and there could be 3 in another state over that were white. They're not going to put that on the media. What they're going to show on the media is that Dylan Roof that went and killed the black church and then bought a Burger King and stuff. They're going to show that part of it. A cop is a human being like you or I. It's a split second decision. So okay, I appear to be white to you. I'm only half white. I'm Native American. So if somebody's coming at me, whether you're white, black, Puerto Rican, whatever you are, Jewish, Muslim, and you're threatening me, chances are I'm going to shoot you.
No, chances are I'm going to put my gun away and beat your ass. That's the first thing, and that's why I think most cops are pussies. First and foremost, I always see it's weird that you got to see 2 police officers shoot 1 person.
Yo, Mr. Kill, hold on for a second, guys. You see, Mr. Kill, what he just said?
What?
You see, like that thing that just happened in Philly, right? With the guy with the knife. It's 2 cops. I understand the guy is charging the cop. They shot him. Cool. But what's wrong with police knowing how to disarm a guy with a knife? Police need to be trained.
I watched it. I watched the training video.
A man with a knife, like he should be
excessive.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead, Rick.
No, nobody wants to be that guy trying to disarm a guy with a knife. Nobody wants to be stabbed. Nobody wants to be cut. They also proved that a knife is more lethal than a firearm within 20 feet.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Yo, Rick, listen. Yo, Rick. Hold on. Yo, low man. Hold on. Yo, Rick.
Yeah.
Let me explain that. I get what you're saying. You're right. Nobody wants to be cut. I get that. But when I'm trying to get it, like as a police officer, shouldn't you be better with your goddamn hands, man?
They're not martial arts experts. They're
like, shouldn't you be nicer with your hands? You like they look like pussies, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
And I'm gonna explain that.
Pussies, bro.
You're 100% correct. I'm gonna explain that.
2 verse 1. Where's the leg swipe? Get him from the back, put him in a full Nelson, take the knife.
Right. The question I have for you.
You never underestimate your.
The question I have for you, Ralph, is how long does it take for someone to become proficient in a martial arts?
Man, fuck a martial art, man.
What do you think? You're just gonna be naturally become a ninja and start disarming
people?
They
got tasers, they got pepper spray, they got other options.
I'd like to complete my train of thought here for a second.
All right, go ahead, Rick.
What people are saying is when they want cops to disarm people with knives, right? Unless they're using a weapon, it is very difficult to disarm someone who comes with a knife because you have difference in strengths, speeds. The guy might be older. The cop might be older. He's weighed down already, limited in mobility. There could be issues with lighting. There's so many variables at play. And then you have the skill ability. You don't know what that man with the knife is. He might be a martial artist himself. You don't know. Do you want to risk going hand to hand with someone who has some kind of background in martial arts or fighting, or doesn't even have to be a trained professional fighter, someone who has a lot of experience fighting with a knife in the streets versus a cop who might have had a 2-week hand-to-hand course?
That's crazy. That's crazy altogether. Like that,
to be proficient,
last time, yeah.
Takes years of training, constant training, years. But you're looking to get a usable police officer in a short amount of time. They go to the academy for what, 2 months, something like that, 2-3 months. Then they go to a little course, and then they're on the street doing some training. So you're looking at trying to get a usable product in a short amount of time. If you want to play hand to hand, you just lengthen that time by a large margin.
It's ass back.
Now,
that's the point I'm making in terms of disarming someone with a knife without.
They have other options. You got tasers, you got pepper spray, you have other options.
Right.
You go straight to the deadly option.
How going all day about the different events, what cops could have done differently? Yes, of course, you can always battle the fact that I wasn't there and the different variables as well. But like certain things just make sense. Like if you go to Wendy's, right? We discussed this last time. That Wendy's thing, that's all a terrible cop to me. I don't care what anybody says. You know, guy with you go there, escalates, boom, you hit him with 2 shots out the taser. You know, goddamn well, and he picks it up that there's 2 shots in the taser, gone already. So he has nothing to shoot at you at this point. So if you're not even if you're just gonna say, all right, you know, the lighting and all this makes them unaware of the surroundings on what they do, then I don't know. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's either you're a professional cop or you don't have a job. That's the way the guidelines should be. The training shouldn't stop till then. Like this is the only place in the entire world where they train for such a little bit of time. They really train before they hit the streets with no pistols.
Let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Yo, 1 second. Can I ask the question? Can I ask the question real quick, please?
Go ahead, Lil Man. Go ahead. People with knives and they ain't got no guns, so don't tell me.
All right. With all of that, how do y'all feel like the president is handling that?
I think it can only be handled locally. I don't think it's not even the president's job to handle that locally in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I think everybody asks so much of the president and puts the blame on one person when really the blame needs to lie right in front of a lot of people's faces. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right there in front of you. It's the same cops that have been coming in. Go ahead, nation. Same political people who aren't giving the fucking funding. To me, I'm just one last thing.
This is what
police relations died after the police athletically disappeared. As soon as that disappeared,
go ahead, Patriot Nation. Go ahead.
He's absolutely right. He's right about that.
This is the problem. This is the problem that a lot of people. This is the problem, the issue that a lot of people aren't understanding. But cops, number one, if you just dust off the Constitution, we don't need police reform and anything. We don't need any of that. Just brush off the Constitution and do the job that you're supposed to do. What happens is each state's their own individual little country. Believe it or not, we have 50 states, but they all have their own individual laws, individual protocols, and everything else. So you're asking the president, who's only in charge of federal law, you're asking the president to get involved in state issues. That's where the 10th Amendment comes in. But the governors and all these other people who are look at the states. These cops, they're breaking federal law because their state law allows them to break it. And they're not, and the president can't step in unless they're called in from the governors or stuff like that. So and what happens is these state laws, they're creating statutes and arbitrary laws. If they just
we got a new panelist, man. Introduce yourself, man. Introduce yourself.
What's going on? I'm Zian on Politics. I'm from New York.
Okay, what you got to say, man? Talk to us, man. This is Silverback, y'all. Go ahead, talk.
Well, the thing is this. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I'm not a Trump fan. But it comes down to we need more bipartisanship across the lines. I mean, the separation is what's hurting us as a country as a whole. Again, in terms of ideologies, I mean, there needs to be, I guess, more forward thinking in terms of that. I mean, a lot of these things in terms of elections and politicians, they're all friends at the end of the day. And again, most of what we go through are all predetermined anyway, through certain meetings that are had and so on and so forth. I'm not talking about like Illuminati or any of that stuff. I'm talking in terms of like the Bilderberg meetings. the people who come into power are already predetermined. So I mean, in terms of all the argument that people have about one side or the other, it's all one side of the coin, and everything is already kind of like put into place. It happens. I mean, the Bilderberg meetings are real. Heads of corporations from other companies, powerful leaders come in and they all meet in one room. I mean, it happens every 4 years or so. I believe the meetings happen. So everything that happens here is predetermined, regardless of Trump is on the same side as Biden and vice versa. It's just that whatever agenda. Yeah, absolutely. It's whatever agenda is put on the table at the point. I mean, every good story needs an enemy and a good guy, right? And everybody's gonna go on whatever side. I mean, think of it like this. No, I'm just saying. In order for Obama, a black man, like in terms of it, for Obama, a black man to be elected president, in terms of unifying a country that was kind of divided, you had to have a bad guy, so to speak, George Bush, in order for this to happen, for him to sort of get the country together to be able to then unite the country under one to actually get him elected. Now, the thing is, when he was elected, just think about it, guys. If you look at the grand scheme of the picture about ideologies and who does what politics or not, there were certain things that were telltale signs throughout his presidency. He kept most of the previous president's cabinet inside to be more bipartisan. I mean, things of that. I mean, honestly, all of this is already fixed. Our fates itself are already determined. Again, we're not a true democracy anyway. I mean, it says it in the Pledge of Allegiance. We're more of a republic. I mean, all of this is already predetermined.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm not saying that the argument that we're saying here is pointless. It's just something to entertain the people. I mean, because again, we all have free will. So regardless of whatever we're talking about now, it is pointless at the end of the day. I mean, this is just to divide us and to have conversation amongst one another, but it's all determined at the end of the day. I mean, who wins and who doesn't, that's all determined. I mean, if you think of it like this, right, it's a big game. The stock market is determined now. The stock market, because I'm heavily invested in the stock market, is determined by what president wins. I mean, if the game isn't already rigged and everything is already predetermined, how would you be able to decipher and determine that?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say this. 99.9% of what you just said, I agree with. Now, I said earlier in this broadcast, I said I did not vote for Trump in 2016 because I thought Trump was a New World Order globalist. Okay, I'm 49 years old. I've been voting since 1988. I've seen every president. I voted for every president. I voted in every local and state election. President Trump, I did not vote for him. I thought he was a New World Order, liberal New York City, liberal Democrat, hijacking the Republican Party to destroy it, to help Hillary get elected. I really thought that. I really did. For 15 months on my Facebook page, I was going against Trump left and right. I couldn't stand the guy. Trump in my lifetime. Okay, what made me turn on the Bushes was in November 11th, September 11th, 1991. He's the first president that came out with the New World Order speech. We just liberated Kuwait from Iraq, and he started bringing the New World Order up. Then
well, no, wait. I don't want to cut you off, but he wasn't the first. It was Reagan that brought up the New World Order.
It was not Reagan.
No, that mentioned the New World Order.
Absolutely not.
I can post the speech. I can post the live stream of the speech.
If you really want to get technical, we can go back to 1938.
Yeah, it's much further than that. I was about to say, guys, like we're talking much further.
What I'm saying is we're getting off track. We're playing semantics. We're getting off. What I'm saying is the first president of the United States that was up on stage in the World Forum, where in the United Nations and the State of the Union speech, the first president that was on stage where the whole world was watching. We just liberated Kuwait from Iraq. Said the New World Order. Okay. And you can YouTube those ones. And then Clinton followed through. Then Obama followed through. Bush Jr. followed through. When I heard Trump give that speech, his first open State of the Union, he says, he went, I'm going after the New World. He didn't even say New World. He goes, I'm going after the globalists. I'm going after the socialists. We're not going to be a one. He goes, we're patriots. We're not going to take orders from this country. We're not going to take orders from that country.
Yeah.
He's the first president in my lifetime that ever said that.
Yes.
Ronald Reagan,
but
never ever said New World Order.
But
Exopolitics, go ahead. Let him say so. Let him answer that.
I mean, but to that point, I mean, again, we've already gone too far. There's no way to combat the military-industrial complex. It's already gone too far. I mean, our greatest production that we do is weapons. I mean, our GDP is pretty much based on weapons. We've come too far for anyone to combat, and then any president that went against the grain per se, or went against whatever the agenda was, ended up dying anyway for their cause. So I mean, the thing is,
Trump is he's right on the edge. I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't get him yet. Can I just throw something in there real quick too? Because like
you want the mic is yours, baby. Go ahead.
Early on in all this, like it was like I said, they were bashing this guy, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And they kept showing all these clips of this first speech or whatever, right? And and I'm like, what the fuck? And you can't just give me a 3-minute clip and expect me to sit there and continue to watch that and base that on something. So I went and I watched the whole speech. And it used to be with all my peoples, you know what I'm saying? We used to talk about like things that were fucked up with the country. He went through all of these things, right? And literally convinced me by the end of the speech because he sounded like the younger self with all the complaints of what was wrong with this country. And if I had an opportunity to fix it, this is what I would do. And this is what I would do. And this is what I would do. And he seemed like all the things that, and when I say this, I mean like all my dudes in the hood, like he said all the things that we used to complain about in the studio and all this shit when we used to talk about the world that we didn't understand, right?
I've never heard a president say fake news before.
Huh?
I've never heard a president diss the media before, calling fake news and all that, and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's actually the first president and one of the first people you will ever see that literally gets up in front of his job, in front of the people he works for, and tells you how fucked up the company is. Literally.
But that doesn't make him good for the country.
Everybody else smiled in your face.
Doesn't make him bad neither. Doesn't make him bad neither.
I mean, and also to touch on it, he's not the first. He's not the first president. He's not the first president that wasn't.
You got to realize something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a businessman. So when they say, "Oh, I was fooled by it too." Okay, you're a businessman, especially in New York City. You got to pay off people to build the skyline like that.
Which is what he did.
Hold on. What did he do in Atlantic City?
What did he do?
I'm not going to bounce around.
And he didn't pay the people. He didn't pay the people.
That's a different issue. Let's finish what I was saying before we jump around. Okay. Stay focused.
Listen, my point to this is.
Hold on.
Donald Trump is the first president that took on the Clinton dynasty and beat it. He took on the Republican establishment and beat it. He took on the Obama dynasty and beat it. So he's the only president in the world. He's the only president.
When you say and beat it, what do you mean by beat it?
Only president that. What do you mean beat it? He took on the whole.
What do you mean by that?
Process.
He won.
What do you mean by he took? Oh, you saying that he won? Okay.
He became president because he ran.
Can I touch on this though? Can I touch on that?
We're getting off track.
Yeah, hold on. Extra politics. I got you. Let somebody finish. And I'm gonna line it all up. Go ahead.
We got off track. So he's the first president that actually did that. Excuse me. And no other president has done that. When you have the whole world sitting there saying he's a bad person, you're talking dictators. The dictators of these third world countries where there is still slavery going on today, where there is still sex trafficking going on today. All the world leaders that the other presidents were palling around with, they all conspired to go against Trump. So not only did Trump take on the DNC and the Clinton dynasty,
Exopolitics.
Now,
he's fighting the world. He's not fighting. He's fighting the world.
Jim, let Exopolitics go. His go.
So I just want to touch on that. Yes, I mean he used the existing system that was already in place to cheat and manipulate his way to power, which is fine. because the system was
No,
there
it's
to be
not.
used.
It's
Wait,
fine.
wait.
No, it really
Wait,
is. Trust me.
When I say that, when I say
it is.
no,
That's the way to get it.
no. What I say is he used the system to his benefit. I mean, this is your parents, your mom's mom. When everyone was loved Donald Trump, when he was beloved, he manipulated the system in order to be able to get to where he is now, right? So now what he's ended up doing, he's closing the loopholes, supposedly, for certain things, or he's helping himself out additionally. Now, the thing is, when it comes to it, New York City, when he came to power, he got a small loan from his dad, $1 million. Everyone knows the story, $1 million, blah, blah, blah. He hired the mob lawyer, Ray Combs, to be able to negotiate the deals for the cities that was here. Now, at the time when Donald Trump first came in, New York City was in its post-Reagan, drug-fueled, crack epidemic, whatever, right? City didn't have any money, right? He went to buy, I don't remember the name of the hotel off the top of my head, but he bought that hotel, got it for dirt cheap, and then ended up. It was before. I believe it was.
Was it the Ritz? No.
No, it wasn't the Ritz. It was it escapes me. But anyway, so he ended up using that and was able to get tax breaks from New York City over an extended period of time. I think it was 40 years that he ended up getting tax breaks from New York City, which then allowed him to be able to collect profits without actually paying any taxation. So I mean, the thing is, you have to, if you're gonna jump on Trump, you have to be able to tell the entire backstory. He's not a good guy, right? I mean, the thing is, we still don't know what his interests are. I mean, his first term, you gotta understand.
Let me ask you a question.
His first term, he didn't necessarily do anything yet. This second term of any president is always going to be the determinant factor of what their presidency is going to be, because there's no consequences to what you can do in your second term. It doesn't matter what the people think anymore. So I know you guys, he's entranced a lot of people based on what he said or what he's tried to do or so on and so forth. But
let me ask you a question, Exopolitics. You said in your comments, you said Trump is doing the same kind of tactics as Hitler. It's like, where does that come from?
Well, the thing is this. I mean, at the end of the day, the media has to be there, regardless if you like the media or not. The media is the checks and balances for the people, right? The thing is, in the 80s, when CNN was formed, and then Rupert Murdoch ended up forming Fox News, which was kind of like the political hands of the media. Again, the media is there to be able to spread.
You ain't go there yet. You gotta go there, man. You gotta go there. Why you say this man is like Hitler? You're kind of swimming around.
No. I'm explaining in terms of I'm showing you that first.
Now you gotta explain the tactics.
Exactly. I'm about to get there. But I had to explain that part too. When it came to Hitler in terms of coming to power, he ended up realizing that the media was the way to it. So if you denounce all media, right, that all media is terrible, and only the media that agrees with your opinion or your agenda.
That's not what Trump did, though.
No, but that's what.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me talk to him after. Let me talk to him after.
No, but in that being said, the only news that he agrees with, right? The only news that he agrees with is Fox News. Can we agree on that?
No, he
doesn't. Is that the only one that you've never?
News out all the time.
No. I mean, when?
Listen, you got to realize something. Adolf Hitler. I don't know if you believe me.
Do you know Adolf Hitler? Hold on, Patriot Nation. Do you know Adolf Hitler's a mass murderer, right?
I'm very well.
I'm not talking about the. I'm not talking about the genocidal part. Everyone knows that, but I'm talking about.
You shouldn't use the name then. If you're gonna use the name Hitler, right? Patriot Nation, hold on. Patriot Nation, just hold on. But if you're gonna use the word Hitler, right, with Trump's name, mass murderer is tied in with Hitler's name.
But I'm talking about in terms of the political way on how he achieved power. And how he
hasn't used the media. Who doesn't use the media? Everybody uses the media.
No, I'm not talking about using the media, sir. I'm talking about in terms of denouncing the free media to turn the people against the media. So this way, whatever message.
Exopolitics. Let me ask you a question. Before Trump,
that's what Hitler did? No, Hitler took control of all the papers. He took control of all the media.
Correct.
He also burned the books.
Propaganda, Joseph
he also burned the
No, correct. And that's what I'm trying to. And that's what I'm trying to.
Look, can I say something real quick? Hold on. Real quick, y'all. Trump said in his first speech what John F. Kennedy was saying before they got
him killed.
Right? He got himself killed, right? Trump said all these things.
Yes.
He got himself killed, right? Almost pretty much got himself killed by the media, right? Now, bringing into the whole media thing, like forever, my entire life, I knew the news was lying. Books.
Exactly. We've been hearing it all our lives. Now that Trump said things are crazy.
Taught me that. Books.
But let's not.
And the way they've used the
exopolitics. We've been hearing the media is fake and TV is fake. All like you Trump. You heard that?
Okay, but I'm talking about in terms of the usage. We all know the media is fake. We all know the books are fake. History books don't. Wait. I'm gonna state the obvious. I'm gonna
Shalom, Tom Blizzy.
I'm gonna state the obvious. We all know that the history books and all those books and whatever is given to us is all fake because the history books don't include slavery. Simple and plain. But what I'm explaining to you is the political way that the media is.
That's another false argument you just put out there.
What
history? If history books post 1940s, I'll agree with. But if anything that you read prior to the 1940s, read any book pre 1940s.
Yeah, but I didn't. Hold on. I hear what you're saying. But I didn't read those books. I didn't grow up in that time.
I did.
No, but I'm talking about the current people now. Why was it taken out? I didn't learn about that in school.
What's taken out? What are y'all talking about? What's taken out?
No. I'm just we got off topic. I was referring to in terms of me knowing that, of course, whatever's put in books and media may not always be true because, again, something as simple as slavery is left out of history textbooks. But we got off topic. That was something.
What textbook are you referring to that they don't teach about slavery?
I'm talking about in school. Every textbook is
period. Since 1931, they changed up all the textbooks to make sure that they didn't have pertinent information about United States struggles, United States massacres, genocides, and everything else. We never thought about what happened to Japan at all. Throughout all that.
No, wait. Not even what happened in Japan, but what happened. But not even what happened in Japan, but what happened here because of what happened in Japan. The internment camps that the Japanese were put in, right? Because it was safer to corral everyone because you didn't know who was the enemy or not.
All right.
The United States did that.
Why did they put the Japanese? Why did they do that though? Why did they do that?
Hold on. What president? What president created those internment camps?
It doesn't. That doesn't matter. But
it does matter. Very relevant.
America always made themselves look like.
Rick. Let Rick talk, man. Rick hasn't talked in a minute. Go ahead, Rick.
I disagree with some of what Politics was saying before about how Trump is in cahoots with Biden. He's too far different. He's so against the establishment. He's against the military-industrial complex. He's come in and canceled military projects because they were either over budget or they weren't meeting their objectives. He's come out and done that. He's come out and been critical of one of the biggest budgets out there now for the aircraft carriers, the EMALs, the electronic catapult system. He's starting to scrap the whole thing, billions of dollars down the drain. That has to infuriate
from what you know. Again, there's multiple. All right, I don't even want to get into
politics. Let him finish.
Our biggest industry is exporting munitions and weaponry, right?
That's what
he's going against stopping the wars, right? He's stopping our involvement in the wars. He's scaling a lot of that back. He's doing the stuff that goes against the mainstream, and he's calling out the media for it. I don't think that puts him on the same playing field with everybody else.
Can I say something apart?
Hold on, Mr. Kill. Hold on. You can, but go ahead. You done, Rick?
Yeah, I can always go back to it later.
I'm just saying it quick. Psychological warfare, and that's why I said that earlier. I was like, I'm not really sure if they're not all playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Because the game is psychological warfare for America, no matter what. So
Yes.
Trump was already in that industry. I always got to remember that.
Yes.
You know, Ronald Reagan want to run a whole thing by shooting at people in the crowd from his movie. That's how he won. They said he liked to show.
Trump definitely knows how to manipulate the media. He knows how to work the media. Yes.
No, absolutely.
Confirm. Tim, can you confirm Ronald Reagan used to do the gun thing and they would go crazy in the audience for it?
Oh, absolutely. He was a cowboy.
When Trump got here, he was like, "I'm fired." I was hyped. I was like, "Oh shit!" I used to like Apprentice. So he was like,
"Let me tell you my opinion on Trump when it comes to like they saying he's down with all the elites. I believe he's an elite, but I don't think he's down with them. I think he's like independent. That's all I think. That's my opinion. I just think he's independent. That's all I'm getting at.
I mean, no, you can't.
Republicans made it clear to me that they are not wealthy enough to be considered as the elites. And if you ever talk to one like a true politician Republican, like they'll really be offended that you think they're that rich. Like,
okay.
I want to just reiterate one thing real quick because Xenopolitics mentioned it. He says, why about the history books? Why is everything being erased or whatever? It's not being taught this and that. It's the same thing of why are statues being torn down? Because what's happening is the power structure, because like I said, Republicans and Democrats are mirror images of each other. Okay, it's an ideology. There's liberals in Republican Party. They call them moderates. That's what they call them. Okay, don't be deceived by that. Why are they tearing down statues? Why are they removing it? Because they're removing their history. They're removing the history of what the Democratic Party is responsible for and what they're doing. The Democratic Party with the liberals control the Department of Education. They control our media. They control our universities, and they're erasing their history and rewording it and putting it on the Republican Party.
There you go. You know what's crazy? And it's funny he said that because when they were like, "Oh, Trump is fucked up," because he was like, he said that if you delete your history, you'll never know it. Whatever. I don't know exactly how he phrased it, but when they asked him to clarify, he was like, "Well, the Democrats did all that." He's like the Democrats. They getting rid of the statues.
But the Democrats are taking rid of all the statues.
Huh?
It's the Democrats that are removing all the statues.
Well, technically, the people in the statues were Democratic figures. So technically,
I never knew that.
Can I just reiterate?
Yeah, but you gotta understand that point.
This might sound crazy, but generally, like,
hold on. Let Patriot Nation finish. Let Patriot Nation finish real quick.
Let me just make one more thing. And here's an honest question I have. Now you got to realize everybody here has different. We're all different races. Okay. Obviously, you probably look at me as I'm a white guy. I'm half white and I'm half Native American Indian. I'm a Native American Indian. That's 100% fact. Okay. So I'm not going to compare atrocities or who suffered more because nobody suffered more than half of my ancestors. Period. So that's here or there. Okay. So I'm going to propose this question. I've never been a Democrat. Nobody. My Native American father, who was in World War II, was in segregated barracks. My mother, when my dad was in Vietnam, she couldn't use white people's bathrooms and water fountains. This is 1965, 66, 67. Okay. I didn't witness that. She did. My mother. That gave birth to me. Now, with that being said, the question I pose to anybody, and my whole family was from the 1920s all the way down that I remember from stories being always said, don't trust Democrats. They're evil people. And they always said that. And they said it was progressives they were saying. But here's the thing. America's 244 years old. Can anybody, whether they're out there listening and they want to ask a question, come up with one bill that was created, sponsored, and passed from a Democratic Congress, Senate, and President that was beneficial for minorities? You have 240.
Yo, Rick, stop, Rick.
Look. I'm gonna do it too, bro. Research, bro. Yo, oh my God. Imagine this, right? What'd you say, bro? You always say this, Zim. You'd be like, yo, the plantation, right? You always call the Democratic plantation, right? And it's weird because I'm gonna say something that I'll never be able to take back from this point on. But like, yeah, it's weird because the slave masters maintain being the slave masters the entire time. No lie.
I mean, the thing
straight up. If you,
the thing is this. I mean, people get caught up. People get caught up in the labels of Democrat or Republican. I mean, the people are the people at the end of the day. I mean, Democrats and wait, both Democrats and Republicans owned slaves.
No,
I mean, the
right,
people,
cool. Yes.
the
Yes,
people
no.
are the
Slaves too. Though.
people
But that was
being
the
having
time.
free.
That was the time too.
A lot of
but
black people own slaves too, though. Most
Yeah,
people,
that was the time. That was the time. That was the era. That was part of the era.
World.
You know what I
The
mean?
whole world owns slaves.
Everybody owns
Yeah.
slaves. The whole world owns slaves.
Hey, we can have a whole other thing on slavery, and I'll tell you this.
We can go on for days about that. I've done a lot of research on that. I'm not going to say that white America didn't have parts in it, but if you want to talk about it, the Jewish community had parts in it. When they talk about the Africans that were selling African slaves, it was not the Africans; it was the black Arabs.
Moors.
The Moors. You gotta know the history, like.
I know the history. I mean,
do you know that the Europeans was the first ones to want to stop slavery, and the Arabs didn't want to stop slavery.
Correct.
No. That is not incorrect. That is a fact. I can show you.
That is incorrect. I'm going to tell you right.
Wait, guys, we're going on a whole different show right here now.
I know. This is We in the World TV. We switch up.
Yeah, I know.
Ralph, let me ask you this.
But this is, listen, the slavery in terms of British slavery started from sugar, right? And then obviously the American slavery, the main focus was what?
Forget the world slaves. Stick to American slavery. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. You said both Republicans and Democrats own slaves. Correct. I agree with you on that. Okay, but only one party fought to keep their slaves, and only one party fought to get rid of their slaves. And which one was which?
Okay, but okay, with everything flip flop.
Hold on.
One party fought to keep their slaves. They divided this country. We had a civil war. One party fought to keep their slaves, and one party fought to get rid of their slaves. Which one fought for who? That's all I want to know.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Right.
Let me
answer his question first.
But let me ask you a question. Why would his question is to lead me down a road of saying, well, Republicans supported non-slavery. That's great, right? Now let me ask you a question. When did the great switch happen?
Answer my question first, and I'll answer yours.
I did answer your question.
No, you didn't. Who fought to keep slaves?
Listen, that doesn't at the end of the day, that doesn't. No, but the thing is, you tell me. Tell me. Go ahead. Who fought to keep the slaves?
He doesn't know.
I'm gonna act dumb. I don't know. So now
both parties had slaves, and I agreed with you.
Correct.
So I'm not denying that. Both Republicans and Democrats both have slaves. Yes, we know that as fact. 100% fact.
Okay.
I agree with you. The bottom line is, I said one party fought to keep them slaves, and one party fought to get rid of slavery. Which one fought to keep the slaves?
They both never wanted to get rid of slavery. One was out of necessity. I didn't want to have to take it, but they both didn't want to get rid of slavery.
Either you can't answer the question, or you're willing
Hold on. You want me to answer?
Hold on.
Wait. I'm gonna answer his question. I'm gonna answer his question. None of them wanted to get rid of slavery. None of them wanted to. I'm not baffling you with bullshit. None of them wanted to get rid of slavery.
One word.
None of them.
Hold on, let me read this
comment. And I'll tell you about the illusion of.
All right, let me read this comment. I got a comment I want to read. Somebody said the party that fought to free them became the party of law and order that was arresting the same people they freed.
Look, I'm gonna tell you just like this.
Repeat that.
He says the party that fought for the free then became the party of law and order, and it was arresting the same people that they freed.
I think people have the wrong perception of what the wrong perception of what actually started slavery. Not what started slavery. I'm sorry. What kept
I don't get it.
America alive for so long was the Bible.
Maybe it was on the way out.
Hard to admit it, but the Bible taught the slave owners to be slave owners and the slaves to stay slaves.
That's a
It
fact.
it kept it very consistent, and it was taught to everyone as well. You know what I mean? Period.
Yeah.
Blank period.
That was the time.
And anyone that can test, you should just read the Bible again, because maybe you missed a lot of it. Maybe you missed a lot of it. And if it's
somebody put slavery was no longer,
somebody can be convinced that slavery is good and to treat people in such a fucked up way is okay to do, or people say that slaves stayed and didn't fight back earlier or whatever, or waited for helping hands to help them fight it, or whatever the case may be. Guess what? That goddamn Bible taught y'all how to do that.
It was more.
Well, the Bible.
Hold on. What to say about the Bible? Go ahead.
It was more so the Torah and the Quran that taught that, not the Gospels, not the Gospels of Christ. The Gospels of Christ are not discussed.
The Moors came.
Oh, come on now. Come on, Rick. Come on, Rick. Not Rick. Tim. Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim. The Bible was the great control of the slaves as well. It was taught to them. It was forced upon them as the great control.
You can't speak of a book that wasn't on the soil, Tim. Right? It wasn't on the soil.
So let me ask you.
That book wasn't on the American soil.
Before the Africans came to America and slavery was forced.
Wait, hold on, Rick. I mean, Tim, I gotta stop you. Before they came, come on, let's change it around. They didn't come, Tim.
I gotta interject real quick. I think it's a whole another thing.
Listen. Give me a chance to reword it.
I guess it's not about rewording.
I'll reword it to appease your ears.
I can tell you,
it's not to appease. No, but
at the same time. At the same time, there's no way to get out.
It's not my ears though.
When the Europeans went to Africa and purchased slaves and then brought them here to this continent.
No one knows how it works. Apparently, I guess no one knows how it actually happened. We were all lying. I swear to you, I have like the true gems, like this little box I can open up like Pandora's box. He has all the exact truth.
So
it has nothing to do with just the Europeans, bro. It's
the only discrepancy is how they came. The only discrepancy everybody in this panel has is how the slaves got here. So I'm going to use my.
We're talking about when they were. We're talking about the soil, guys.
When they were bought on a legal market. It was a global market with slavery. Every country participated in slavery. Every country. America was late to the party. Every country. Right? Every nation on the face of the earth participated in slavery. It was a global economic policy. That's a fact.
Okay.
Every nation. Okay, now, hear me out. That's a fact. Okay, so being that all the countries, they were enslaving people before America was even formed. Before they were formed. So when they purchased their slaves and brought them to America.
I can see one dude. I can't even see what his name is.
When they bought their slaves, so you can't even get anything across. When they bought the slaves legally through a legal system, as evil as it was evil. I'm not saying it was evil. That's the evilest thing that ever happened on the world. It was slavery. It was back in the Egyptian time, 6,000 years ago. So it's all semantics right now. But the bottom line is this. So when they bought the slaves legally, and they brought them to America, okay, I'll entertain it. They forced the Bible on them, okay? But listen, before they're forcing the Bible on them, when they were conquered by the Arabs, like I've said, they were forced Islam on them. So Islam.
Yeah, but the point is,
no, you got it all mixed up.
Hold on. Let me say something.
Listen,
I understand what you're saying. This is where I come in at. I understand what you're saying. Okay, slavery was legal. Yeah, they did what they did. Cool. But the point is, though, before that, the slaves had no clue what the Bible was.
Yes. Yeah. First and foremost,
they followed the Quran.
The Bible, it doesn't matter. Either or, they had no clue what it was. It was forced.
Even Africa didn't have no nothing before that, bro. It was
they didn't know what that was.
Earth and realm and shit like that, bro. Like
who was the first slave owner on the planet? Who was the first slave owner?
Whoa, chill. An African king was one of the first slave owners on the planet.
Oh, for real? I don't know.
Yeah. That's correct.
The Moors made the deal. The Moors made the deal with. I'm not gonna. The Moors made the deal with so and so to take almost 250,000 slaves from him. He took them to Portugal, and they were in Portugal about 8 years before they even came over here.
Yo, hold on. Somebody asked a question. They goes, what type of
I don't want to go into all that right now. This is a whole different show. Y'all should read more though. Y'all tripping.
Yep.
Somebody said,
we did get off topic.
No offense, Tim, you're quoting history books.
Hold on, you're not talking about the first slaves in America, are you?
Yeah, what about them?
I could go to that too. I know the Moors came. I know the Moors came with them, acting like slaves, but they had already learned the entire Bible to teach them. I know that.
I agree with you.
I know that.
Dr. Kills. Listen, we got.
I don't believe that.
I know the Willie Lynch letter is in effect.
I don't believe that.
Yo, we're talking too many people at a time.
This shows about the election and pros and cons.
The Moors got slaughtered, bro. They fucked the Italians over. The Italians took back blood, you know what I mean, over the course of centuries and shit like that. So
absolutely.
And there were less Moors left and they couldn't defend themselves. They had to make a deal, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was either get wiped out or assist in growth. But they were lied to as well. You know what I'm saying? Those same Moors came over here and were the first black pastors that taught the Bible to the slaves. And you know what's the crazy thing is? They taught the Bible to the slave masters because they didn't know shit either. Don't forget, everybody that was over here.
Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win the election? We're going to go back on top. Who do you think going to win the election?
I think Trump wins the electoral. Biden wins the popular vote. I think this shit doesn't get solved till next March. I think all hell breaks loose. Probably fucking.
You believe in that all hell breaks loose? Do you believe in that
Civil War? I think they fucking really divided everybody to the point where everybody comes back from that. It's hard to shake a random stranger's hand. It's kind of hard to say, you know what, I need your help real quick. Kind of hard for people to be individuals anymore. Everybody's followers and shit. So everybody's gonna follow the lead. You just run up and take y'all scraps while y'all doing all that bullshit. Signing off. I'm gonna drop my.
Okay, brother.
Yo.
Yo, hold on. We got somebody new in the house. Let me unmute.
I'm also going to say I believe that Trump's going to win the Electoral College. He probably won't get the popular vote. He's going to be the next president. I'm not going to say March. It's going to be solved before March and probably going to end up going right before the inauguration. Because now that there's new Supreme Justice, they're not going to let it carry on because there's going to be a lot of voter fraud. That I do believe. We will have a president. It's going to be announced tomorrow night. It's going to be announced probably 1 o'clock, 12 midnight, 1 o'clock.
I might do a special tomorrow, man. Y'all, if y'all come in tomorrow, I'll do a special. I'll do a special tomorrow if y'all come in.
No, I'm going out.
They're not. But the ones with the Democrats aren't going to accept it because a lot of votes aren't going to be counted through the.
Look, y'all.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that.
Y'all all tripping. The process is fucked.
I don't believe in that, man.
The process ends one way. If the Democrats win, everybody else is overthrowing the government. If Trump wins, then Antifa is going crazy because there's a lot more than y'all think. And we are
going to be. What I can tell you is this: after tomorrow, everything will never be the same.
Well, my man Rick want to say something. Go ahead, Rick.
I look at it a little bit differently. I think Trump's going to win because there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear at watching Antifa and elements of BLM riot in the streets, and that struck a chord with a lot of the regular Americans who are not in urban centers. And I think a lot of people are scared. A lot of white people are scared to come out and say they support Trump because they're going to be labeled as racist or whatever, bigoted, whatever. But I think gun sales are up. And they're saying that the biggest purchases of firearms now in recent times is suburban females. So that tells me that mothers are scared in the suburbs. I think he's going to really swing it. In terms of what happens, I think there's going to be issues either way, but Biden was very reluctant to stamp out issues when he was or even comment, not that he could stamp it out, but he was very reluctant to even go against it, comment against it. Whereas Trump was very upfront about it. And I think once he gets his second term, he doesn't have to worry about another election. He can just go out and go ham on the whatever standing in his way in terms of these riots and these issues. And I think you're going to see a lot. I think once he wins, you're going to see a small pockets of isolated cells acting up and attacking American interests, but I think it's going to be quickly stamped out. I think
I agree with that.
a lot of it's political.
Like I said, you know.
Oh man,
Well, like I said,
Rick,
Obama,
you're funny.
Obama wrote a bill where it says that, you know, even if the states say, you know, we don't need your help, Trump could always send the troops in. I don't know how many people know that with what's been going on. Now he could have always pushed this button and been like, I'm sending them in anyway because he has the law to back him that Obama set up where he could go full force into a state rioting.
I'm glad you brought that
No, you're not even talking about like, you know.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yep.
Well, I agree with Kills. He could have, but what Trump was trying to avoid was he was trying to avoid an open conflict between two agencies.
Exactly. He wanted the states to do their job. Kind of. It was weird. He kind of put it on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what he'll do now is I think he'll prosecute individuals better. I think what he's going to do now is he's building his case and seconding the FBI and other national assets on these leaders, these ringleaders. He doesn't have to get the whole group. He just has to get the agitators, right?
Yeah.
You get the agitators out of play, and most of the crowd will simmer down. They'll go back to work. They'll do whatever. But you got that hype man keeping it hot.
Yeah.
What he's going to do is I think he's going to actively say, hey, the FBI, these are your agitators. Find them guilty of some federal charge so
on both sides, correct?
That we can. It doesn't matter the side. Whatever the agitators are, he's going to go after them.
I'm just saying, the reason why I say that is right.
It's bad for business
because some agitators are, again, I don't believe in rioting and looting and burning down shit. That doesn't. But the thing is, when you watch the media from his own words, and when you watch what he says in his press conferences directly, the certain people on some of the agitator sides are great people, and some of the agitators are savages.
That's taken out of context.
No. I watched that live. I watched that one live. I didn't read it from any. I don't particularly. I don't watch any standard news.
I watched it live.
He doesn't. If they're part of his political backing, he doesn't have to send them after him because they already got what they wanted. All he has to do is say, "Hey."
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're agitating or inciting based on you being on his side, again, this is the relation to Hitler. The SS Army. I mean, it shouldn't be like that. I mean, he's the commander of the chief of these United States military. Not have your own packet of militia.
He doesn't have his own packet of militia, though. You're looking
those. Like you understand, comparing apples to oranges. You're mixing the president up with like you can't blame one person for a bunch of people's thoughts. Like I'm confused. Like why are we all still replacing responsibility on one man? If we're that blind to see like one person being the only result of a bunch of people's opinions, it's not about agitating.
But he's the least. But he's the okay. But the thing is this.
Hold on, y'all talking at once. Y'all talking at once, gentlemen.
Militias have been here waiting to overthrow this government for a long time, my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but at this point, it's at the closest that it's ever been.
Because
I mean, he
supposed to be overthrown.
The 60s were just as bad. The 60s were just as bad.
Technically, right? Technically, it would only seem bad if you believe the government doesn't need this sort of fine tuning. Correct?
I mean, look, he's the leader of the
60s.
No.
60s were just as bad. The 60s and early 70s were just as bad. And what happened was Governor Reagan's and Nixon's and those type of guys, they crushed them. And what happened was they all went into they went to the education department. They became professors. Okay, they became educators. That was the cultural Marxist revolution of the 60s and 70s. Those people, they were crushed. Some of them had to flee. Some of them went to prison, which Cuomo just pardoned a bunch of them that was killing people. Okay, they were crushed. It's the grandkids of that generation that's doing this shit today. And here's the thing. I want to go back to what Dr. Kill says. He says Obama's bill. So everybody that's listening, I'm going to tell you what the bill is. It's called the NDAA Act. Okay, that's the bill he's talking about. It was passed in 2012. Okay, and this is one of the things I don't like about. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about Trump. I'm going to give you 3 quick things off the top of my head. The fact that he keeps signing the NDAA Act. Every year it expires in February. He re-signs it. The Patriot Act that George Bush, that was the predecessor to the NDAA Act. They're both in play. Those 2 bills themselves completely violated and molested the Bill of Rights and us all under the guise of safety and security to combat the war on terror because of 9/11.
Because chaos brings control.
One more thing. Now, going back to Dr. Kills'
Still blaming one man.
It's called the amendment. It's Amendment 1. You can Google it. Google it right now. Amendment 112. Either 112 or 114. I can't think of the. I believe it's 112. 112. The amendment of the NDAA Act. And Obama, when he passed that act, Amendment 112, I believe, says the media has the right to promote propaganda for political gains. That's why we're seeing those. And that was the first time FDR made sure the media cannot do that. And Obama overrode it. Okay. And this is what I don't like about Trump.
It's 26 of these bills.
Trump got conned into it. I'm going to tell you. This is how Trump got conned into it. Okay. Believe me, I follow this. What happened with Trump was, when it was proposed to his bill, the military was looking for a pay hike for the troops. These evil people, both Republicans and Democrats, that the establishment, the deep state combined, they put the military pay raise for the average soldier into the NDAA. Trump had to sign that bill and keep it going, because if not, our soldiers would not be getting pay. What would happen if he did not sign that bill? He don't care about the soldiers. He's not paying them. He's not giving them pay raises. It's all the deep state, Republicans and Democrats alike. The bottom line is conservatism versus liberalism.
Y'all think Trump's a Republican or whatever? Like he's running kind of.
He's not a Republican.
He's running up the middle.
Didn't like him either. Republicans didn't like him. Democrats didn't like him when he first ran.
And one more thing,
I'm still curious with the xenopolitics. You keep comparing him to Hitler.
Say one more thing.
But it's
one more thing, Tim, and then let Rick go. Go ahead, Tim. One more thing, and then let Rick go.
Yep.
And I want to say one other thing I don't like about Trump, and I'm going to give Obama a lot. I can give Obama a lot of credit, but I don't, because I'm not going to fuel my enemies and tell them what Obama did good. I want them to make fools of themselves. Okay, I like that.
Live.
I like that. So I'm going to tell you another thing that I can't stand, and I'm a gun owner. I love the gun. I love it. I have plenty of firearms. The one thing that really bothers me about Trump is that he lifted an executive order that Obama did banning trophy hunting. I don't believe in trophy hunting. I believe if you want to hunt for food to feed your family, I believe in that. Okay, one of the best things Obama could have done was protect the animals with trophy hunting and stuff like that. Trump didn't overrode his executive orders. Now there's trophy hunting again. But that's just my opinion. Okay, that doesn't affect my life.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick. So you.
All right.
Well, I was going to say, xenopolitics keeps comparing them to Hitler, but I still don't get the comparison. Hitler had a lot of government militias, not just the military. There was other government paramilitary organizations and programs for the youth and the basic civilians to push his both military and political agenda, right? Trump doesn't have that. You have the other groups that are doing their own thing that see a light in Trump or may see something that they align with in Trump, but he's not actively supported. They're doing their own thing. Maybe their roads converge, maybe not, but it's totally different. I'm just wondering where you come with that he's just like Hitler or he's doing things like Hitler. I don't understand that concept.
So to respond to that, again, like you said, there are people that see to his light or speak to his light. When you go to the rallies, these are the same people that he's talking to, right? Again, these are the same people that are backing him. Can we agree on that?
No,
I don't know.
You get a large diversity. You get blacks who back him. You get whites who back him. You get Jews who back him.
No. I'm just saying. I didn't say color. I'm just saying that these groups back him. I didn't say color. I said that
which groups are you talking about? Which groups are you talking about?
That's a fallacy because those
what groups?
You got the same type of people and the same type of groups that support Biden called Antifa.
Okay, but I'm not. But
they show up a little.
You're creating a story.
But what group? What group are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
I'm talking about
the narrative to try to prove a point, which was a fallacy.
I'm not. Again, I'm not creating.
I got to cut the show off soon.
I'm not creating a narrative. It is what it is. You can see it with your eyes. No. I mean, when you go to right. when you go to the what is it, the good old guys, good old brothers, whatever rally, when you watch those things, because when you watch those things, they support Trump. Do they not?
Okay.
Right?
I support Trump. I don't get down.
I've and again, I'm not gonna say how, but I've watched a few. I've watched a few.
Name one of those groups. Name one instance where any one of those groups are out there looting and burning and rioting right now.
Well, I'm not talking about. All right, they shut down the Mario Cuomo Bridge.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Hold on. Because everyone's laughing.
That's liberal logic.
Go ahead, let him finish.
Wait. No, hold on. In the beginning of discussion, you guys said that every Democrats or liberals or whatever are name called. I didn't name call any of you. Someone just called me a buffoon. Wait, hold on.
No, he didn't call you a buffoon. No, he didn't. He didn't say you was buffoon.
Well, but listen, is blocking a bridge without permit, is that not an illegal action?
No,
I know. Wait, hold on.
That's the people doing whatever they want. That's the people.
No, that's a specific. No, that's a specific group of people, right?
It was Hasidic
Americans.
Hold on. No, that's a specific.
I won't let you cross the bridge if you don't vote for Trump.
Yo, they're Americans, man, and Americans acting stupid, man. It's just a bunch of Americans. They do it for football games. But if that's like this is what America does, man.
But if that's acceptable, not everybody, right? Not everybody that's out there.
Rick.
Hold on, not everybody that's out there that's protesting for the treatment of Black lives to be the same is not part of BLM. They're not part of Antifa. So that's the thing. You categorize everyone under the same umbrella. Not everyone that's out there. Like just like any group,
categorize everybody on the bridge.
Yo, go ahead, Rick.
Categorize everybody on the bridge.
Let Rick talk real quick, and then we go next. Go ahead, Rick.
I didn't categorize, and maybe if I did, I apologize. I'll backtrack that. But I didn't categorize everyone who went to these protests as being a BLM or an Antifa member or supporter. However, when you look at all the demonstrations that were done, there were 10%. There were over 8,000, right? 10% of them ended in violence, looting, vandalism, violence, right? So you're looking at about 800 or more violent issues in the last few months, right? When you look at the Trump supporters, what are they doing? And this is just like a recent thing. It's very small in comparison. When you compare it, it's not even apples and oranges. It's not even the same ballpark. They didn't hurt nobody. There was no damage. Yes, it was. I wouldn't agree with it because emergency vehicles may have to travel. You know, I still believe in freedom of navigation and passage and stuff like that. People have to get to where they're going. I think it was stupid, personally. However, when you compare it to the violence that have been allowed to take place, the violence, the looting, the killing, the burning that has been allowed to take place, and then on top of being allowed to take place, they've been bailing these people out to repeat it, and not for nothing, it gives people with my face a bad name. Because
but the thing is that's because you've taken it that way. You gotta understand. Hold on. You can't point out violence and
hold on. Y'all talking at the same time.
Let me just get 15 seconds. Right?
Yeah, 15 seconds.
A few weeks ago, I got into an argument with a guy, and I said, "Hey, he says I'm anti-black. I hate my own race." I said, "That's not true. I don't hate my own race. I dislike people who look like me that make other people hate me." And he said, "How do you figure that?" And I'm an idiot. I said, "When was the last time you saw a black? Do you think every racist guy has met every black he hates?" And I said, no, not at all. He's had some bad experience, or some of it was taught, but I just disagree. I think it's making us. I think all these little stupid acts is dividing us as a nation. But I think it's really disproportionate, and the media is keying in on what the right is doing to cover what the left is doing, to cover for it. It's like, oh, well, these guys are doing it too, but it's really disproportionate.
Good analogy.
Okay, but
And
just like
Very
three
good.
questions at once, and I apologize. I had so much spinning here, and I'm trying to get it all out.
Yes, you got it.
I want to say one more quick thing too. Now, if you're saying what people aren't putting in perspective is this: I'm sure everybody has firearms, whatever they can do, but majority of Trump supporters, majority of Republican supporters, because there's a lot of blacks in the Republican Party before this Trump guy. They were the black people that were part of the Republican Party. They were called coons and Uncle Toms and stuff. They weren't accepted, like Thomas Sowell, guys like that, Walter E. Williams, brilliant men of this world, of America. They never were accepted in the community. But here's the fact: if the Trump supporters were really these violent people, if the Republicans were really these racist people, those people own over 400 million firearms and 12 trillion rounds. If they were really a problem and they wanted to put people back in chains, they wanted to kill off every ethnic group and this and that, what's going to stop them from doing it?
Well, we're gonna find out after we're gonna find out after tomorrow because wait because of the fact that a lot of these Trump supporters in quotations have said if Trump loses, we're out shooting.
Come on, man.
But this is not from the media. I'm talking about individuals. People, not.
I suggest you.
Yes, I've seen that.
I've seen that. Shoot back, sir. I would have to say, fuck it. The fuck.
I'm
just saying.
Maybe you weren't here before, but I'm just gonna say it one more time, as brief as I could, brother. All right, so they've been prepping this shit for about 15 years. This whole buildup of a race war that really doesn't exist. Nobody wants to fight it. Nobody wants to fight it, but everybody feels they have to fight it. But it really doesn't exist because it's just an emotional fucking attachment to everyone's history that they believe they really belong to or take part of, but really it's destroying individualism. So they don't want you to be yourself. They want you to think for yourself. That's why even when right now you're doubting it and you're asking questions after you're making a statement and you're saying this, and we're all questioning what's really going on here. But it's the psychological warfare in a sense,
Beautiful word, individualism.
Anything, guy. Nobody has anything to stop this. Everyone wants to do something, but there's nothing to be done. It's just, I don't know how to
listen. I'll leave it on this, right? There's always someone that's right or wrong. We're gonna find out eventually who was right and who was wrong.
It's either guys that want to overthrow the government and people that want to stop them from doing it. Bottom line. That's where people are that's the line people are gonna get caught up in. You're gonna think that these people are just pro-white, we're gonna kill all the blacks, we hate black people, but really they're just like, what, the government's going down. If they pull this shit the wrong way this time, that's it. If our boy don't win, we're not gonna let his plan die. They're gonna overthrow the government. Like, this is shit that has been going on for years. I don't know how old everybody else is. I just turned 40. I've been doing this talk about and paying attention to the details process for a long time. A lot of people have been lied to. The news is absolutely corrupt. When the guy says fake news, it's actually real. You know what I'm saying? If you actually do your fact check after they tell you the bullshit, you realize they're lying to you. Like very, very bad. Like, you shouldn't be looking at the news. You should be reading articles that were written by very smart people about shit that has to do with the
but see, I'm talking about reading the details, the freedom of information act.
Listen, guys, Ricky, Dr. Kills, listen, I gotta go. I'm gonna end it with this. That I gotta go.
Okay.
My wife's coming home in about 5 minutes, and I don't I'm not in trouble. I'm gonna end it to you this way. This is the fact. Okay, whether you think the Republicans are gonna do something about it, the Democrats, the bottom line is this. Dr. Kill said it. It's individualism. We got to use our brains and be individuals, because there's one thing I can guarantee you, 100%, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are or what color you are, if America falls to the socialist globalization that I believe the Democrats are pushing, if America falls, there's no place to go for any of us. Because think about all the other countries around the world. They're fighting. They're leaving all these tyrannical governments to come here. They're taking rafts across oceans to come here. There's something that America has to offer. But if America fails and falls into the hands of the oppressive dictatorship that's coming our way, we're in trouble.
Just to piggyback off of what Patriot Nation said, I agree, but I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as this election. I think it's going to be something that's over time. I think that it's going to be a slow eroding American values, a slow eroding of our system, and then one day we're gonna wake up and be like, wow, where did this go wrong? You know,
I think it's already too late for that.
Rick, you see what you just said? I agree with you 100% with that one, Rick.
In ending, listen, guys. In ending, I got to go. Listen, Dr. Kills, Rick,
always a pleasure.
We in the world. We in the world, Patriot Nation. We in the world, baby.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Listen, God bless. Be safe out there, brothers.
Yes, thank you.
All right, man.
I just want to add one more thing though. Like maybe I'm still too patriotic for my own good, but I have faith. I have faith in the people more than the system, right? I have faith in the people that we will not allow certain things to happen, even if we know it's wrong. Because on a small scale, we're like, okay, everybody knows the government to a certain extent. We all know it, right? We know there's money being pushed around, stuff happening back. But I think we're not going to allow something totally egregious to happen. And I think if no matter who wins, if things start getting too out of hand, I think you're going to have, groups uprising. But I think the military is strong enough to put down a lot of these things in the worst case scenario. And if it's not right,
I don't believe the
military is made up of people like me, you, and everybody else. So I think
let me piggyback off that. When people say sometimes about overthrown and they're gonna do this, I'm like, yo, what is the army gonna do? What is the military gonna do? Just sit around? Like somebody has to control it. Even when they say stuff like, "Oh, Trump said he's not leaving office," huh?
Soldiers,
how can he do that?
I believe in that moment. I believe this wholeheartedly with everything. That in that moment, that the soldiers stand with the people and the government is removed.
Exactly.
Or shift slightly. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I believe a shift is upon the way it's being run. Like
he doesn't control the media. He doesn't control the military like that. Where he's like, "Well, I'm controlling. I'm gonna take over the country, and I'm not gonna give up the presidency." Like that means he has to control the military, right? Doesn't mean he has to control the military and the army and the Marines, and he gotta have a military behind him that could take over the country, right?
It's not like that, bro. You gotta convince a man. You gotta convince a man that the order is proper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the general, right? The general guy.
Yeah, but that's where the militia comes in. I mean, any government
to take over the government. Go get out.
It's happened before.
When
the militia lastly outmatched when you're talking about government-sponsored agencies and assets.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's
not. When did that happen? Exopolitics for you to say that the militia took over the government. When?
I'm saying, I'm saying it happened in other countries. The thing is,
this country. Let's stick to this country. Let's stick to this country.
No, but we're too comfortable. This is the thing. We have to get out of that mindset that it cannot happen.
Yeah, but
anything is possible.
People are complaining that Trump says that if he doesn't win the election, he's not getting out of the seat. You said militia's gonna help. Who's his backup? Who's his backup?
No. I said they could. I mean, they're heavily armed as they say they are. Right? Again, I'm not gonna. I don't. All I'm trying to say is the possibility is there. You cannot count that out.
Man, no, it's not a reality, man. It's not realistic,
relative to the person speaking. You can have 40, 50, 1,000, 2,000, 8,000 individuals armed with assault rifles and heavy machine guns, but in the face of mechanized infantry, in the face of face of helicopters, it all goes away.
It goes away.
Yeah, it gets pushed to the wayside very quickly.
Exterminated. They get exterminated. It's called extermination. I don't see how he's going to be able to lose. He gets voted out, and then he's going to take over. I'm not getting out of office.
Again, he doesn't listen. I mean, the thing is this: we'll all find out what happens or who's right and who's wrong. Well, I would say maybe March. I'm agreeing with Dr. Kills.
Yourself real quick. We got a new panel because I'm about to go real quick. But let Judah introduce himself
real quick.
Go ahead.
What's going on, y'all?
What up?
Go ahead, Judah. Hold on, Judah. Dr. Kills, what you about to say real quick?
And I think it's 2013, one of the other bills Obama did. There's 26 of these very crucial bills that were written to destroy freedoms, right? So, like, if you look into them, you'll find them all. But one of these was literally how a president can concede an election and postpone elections for a 4-year, 2 to 4 year time frame, if deemed be by any catastrophic event, major crisis. So while they saying like shutdown, he technically could postpone the whole shit this shutdown, and it could stop everything based on the law that Obama held. So him pushing like election is kind of weird, being that in his back pocket he could shut it down and just stay the president with his hands folded like this. Weird. That's all.
We'll see. But Judah, go ahead, man. Talk.
Real deal. Shit.
We about to end it real quick. I'm gonna let Judah get some words off. Go ahead, brother.
I just wanted to say shit. I mean, I figured like Trump's gonna win. I think that's the best case scenario for America at this point. You can't shut down an economy twice. This man Biden talking about all the way into 21 and 22. Like you just gotta live with what we got going on right now. It's just gonna be another thing in the world. It's just a socialist agenda being pushed, and it's just madness for us to think that we should keep going in that direction. Like anybody, and especially men, when I be seeing like these men saying that we should be in shutdown mode, it's like, damn, you scared? Like, I can only imagine what your household look like.
You know what? That's funny. That's funny. Speaking of that, because I believe we might as well just go back to survival of the fittest. I would say that. I would say that. I mean, because that's the kind of agenda that we're headed towards. If we stay open, it's more of survival of the fittest. If you die, you die, and we bury you, and we move on.
How you doing?
Why does it have to be?
That's what we do anyway.
But I'm saying.
Why does it have to be to the extremes? Why can't we incorporate both? Why are we isolating the entire population? Why don't we isolate those that are most at risk, i.e., the sick, the elderly?
Like in a sort of a camp or something, right?
Let's put them
in a camp.
90-something% of the people are surviving this just fine.
I'm just saying those sick and those sick and those
protect them. It's like you do with kids. When
once said, "You cannot save the world unless you get coins." I would like you to direct your energy towards yourself, brother. Don't worry about these distractions all around. You might we're not going to solve all these problems all of a sudden. Think about this for a second. If it was this is the recidivism rate of anything that goes down, right, inside the mind and the psyche, right? So you do something for a certain amount of time, it takes about those amount of time, at least that or more, to make up for it and rechange the thought. 400 years. If 400 years of slavery, technically, it would take 400 years of recovery to actually overcome the thought process of it, or forget whatever people try to push upon us, right? It would take 400 years to recover. So you're thinking racism would be solved on this presidential campaign is absolutely impossible.
Impossible.
That's weird. That's the thought that everybody.
And he's not to blame
right now, and that's what they're asking the president. You know what I'm saying? And the president, the current sitting president, says, "Look, I can give you money." You know what I'm saying? And that's more important right now, to rebuild communities and fix all the problems that could be fixed. But you can't let these people that have been saying they love you, Democrats, all this time, and
done nothing.
Take that money again and use it elsewhere in the community.
Biden's been a president. Biden has been in politics for 50 years. Biden has been in politics for 50 years.
Hey,
50 years.
Real quick, one of my favorite ones is Maxine Waters. Hey, she get down and dirty with the corruption. You hear me?
50 years that man has been in politics.
See how they do?
He was down with Obama for 8 years.
Right?
He did nothing
like that and protests and stuff. Because this is something that most people don't realize, and this is facts. Like, so a lot of the so-called bad neighborhoods and areas and ghettos in the Black communities around here, weirdly enough, they became that way and went on the route that way to the previous riots. The neighborhoods were destroyed. Oh, wow. These were prominent neighborhoods. Remember, don't forget our project buildings. Those started off, it was meant to be what it was. Some know the deal, some don't. But it was a beautiful crib. Like when the projects were first built, like that was a thing of high class in a sense. I don't know if it was like period. You know what I mean? Like not all of them, but Harlem and shit like that, like certain buildings and shit.
Gentlemen, give their last 2-minute what y'all gonna say real quick? How y'all feel about what's gonna happen with the presidency? Because I'm about to bail out on y'all real quick.
I'm voting Trump. I'm voting Trump because I ain't paying 52% tax to no human being. Period.
Oh wow, Rick,
Period.
on you.
I'm voting Trump because he's exposed the lies of the media and he's gone against the establishment, and I think that's huge. Also, the Democrats just aren't making sense. They seem so radical that it's actually scary. So I'm going Trump.
Exopolitics, it's on you, man.
May God or the forces that are out there that protect us all. Godspeed, everyone. Good luck, and hope everyone is prosperous and healthy and stays that way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it. Judah, on you, baby.
Yeah. First, I want to say all praise be to the Most High God, and all glory be to Him. I hope all you brothers be prosperous and successful and catch some kind of peace in these hard times. But obviously, y'all already know I voted for Trump. I hope that he wins tomorrow, and by God will, he will, because that's the only way to like push us forward or whatever. Because if not, prepare for shutdowns and mask wearing.
Okay, we in the well, gentlemen. Until the next segment, thank you for coming. And today's show is sponsored by Level Up. If y'all can see, I got a new garment. You know what I'm saying? Today's show started by Level Up. Thank you. Go to it. And that's it, man. We in the well. We out of here, folks.
All right, peace.
Peace.